All right. Hey guys. How y'all doing? Give a big wave to the chat. Hi chat. Let's hope
Beautiful layout.
Do my special dance.
it's let's hope that everything works the way it should, like it didn't on Thursday. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I'm really excited. You probably recognize myself. I'm Kyle, otherwise known as Fragile Fighter. And then Brian, he also plays with us on Thursday nights in our Knights Remnant campaign.
Hey guys.
And then we've got four new players, I'm sorry. Four new players. Oculin, aka Nylanth, is his character's name. And then Gemma, who's playing Sylphina this evening. And then from the Valus Scorpus server, we have Bowen Shade, which is also Dylan, playing Declan, and Nebulara.
Say it right. Say it right.
I can't. I'm always gonna Fingarin. It's
very close.
I know. I always mess it up. Otherwise, simply just known to me as Steph, because that's all I'm ever gonna be able to call you. Who's playing Nebulara? So, yeah, you guys ready to play some D&D?
Let's do it.
Terrified.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I should disclaimer. Oculin. This is Oculin's first D&D session. It's like first actual D&D session. So,
Woo!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm
gonna guess.
I'm gonna hope.
There will be no gaslighting in this Christian Minecraft server.
So we're gonna try and give him a good experience. I'm gonna try and not mess anything up for him and or kill his character.
I'm gonna try to kill his character.
He's gonna die.
I'm a cleric.
Is he the healer? Please don't kill the healer.
I have 10 AC, please, for the love of God, don't.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
Just constantly touching myself with cure wounds.
Oh my God.
I didn't even mean that in a weird way. You took it that way.
No, you definitely meant that in a weird
No,
way.
I
Don't say it with
meant
that
that in a
cadence and
weird
not
way.
have an innuendo
I
in
was
mind.
literally touching my own chest. All right, calm
I
down.
know it's the cleric keeps touching himself.
All right, what's our introduction? I'm ready for this. I'm so
Right.
I think that's it. I think that was our introduction.
No.
definitely it.
So, it's a very lawless time in the Forgotten Realms. Faerun is scattered, divided. There's constant wars and small battles breaking out across the land between different factions of various mercenary guilds. In the midst of all of this, you each receive a letter from one Gregor the Red, calling you to come to his aid for a secret meeting being held in the far reaches of Faerun at a small tavern under the cover of night. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and break down individual character intros. I'm going to start with Brian, who's playing Tierig. Brian, you received your letter, and you've been traveling for about a week. You come to the location described in the letter, and what you see is bashed together in a hurry and expanded over time with mismatched lengths of wood upon a foundation of mortared stone. The firelight coming from the windows of this ramshackle inn, nevertheless, looks quite inviting in this dark landscape. So as you walk in, you describe your character's features, race, class, anything else you'd like for us to know.
Keurig is a 6'4" lanky human, or well, he's a shifter, but I assume he appears human. Dressed mostly in pelts, with a spear across his back and twirling a flute in his fingers. He will head it in. He's got dark, ruddy red hair and stubble of a beard on his face, and he'll go ahead and head into the inn, welcoming the firelight. Before he does that, you see him point to the sign above a sign or a post on the inn, and a little red hawk lands and alights on the post.
Very nice. I like it. Declan.
Declan Boyle is somewhat of a roguish and charming character. He has like a bit of that 5 o'clock shadow, sharp features to his face. He's a ranger paladin. So he looks like a weird mix of clergyman and huntsman at the same time. He comes in brandishing like pads of mail and chainmail and such, but also cloaked and arrayed in pelts, as it were. And he makes his way into the tavern, wiping the rain from his face like, I only hate rain. It's the worst feeling, I swear. Got my pelts all soaked. He reaches into his cloak and pulls out the letter from Gregor the Red. He starts waving it around, hoping to catch the eye of anyone else who might recognize like the waxen seal on it. See if he can catch a party member. And he knows he's supposed to meet people here.
So as you look around, as you come in, you notice it's a very rugged establishment on the inside. As you walk in, you find yourself staring into the open maw of a stuffed bear. It only takes a moment to recognize the work of such a skilled taxidermist who's managed to convincingly pose the brown bear on its hind legs dead ahead of you. A tired-looking clerk dressed in worn leathers sits behind a desk, occasionally letting loose a stream of loose chewing tobacco. Just I assume you're here for the meeting.
I came on behest of Gregor the Red, apparently.
Yes, and he just points off to the right. You'll be with the rest of them then. And as he points down to the right, you see the room opens up, and there are several other men clad in armor, with helmets like sitting on benches and tables, and swords leaning against the wall, and shields and other various weaponry just kind of laying around. They're all like having drinks and eating, telling stories, and kind of just relaxing. So yeah.
It's quite the entourage. Sir Gregor the Red's calling a lot more than just me over here, is he?
Yeah, would appear so. All right.
So grand tale, he says as he pulls out his journal and makes his way over.
Nihilith.
God, my pressure.
It's raining, and it's been raining for 2 days. As you make your way to this meeting, so as you arrive at the tavern, you walk in, seeing everything that's been previously described. What would you like to do when you enter?
I let out a big sigh.
I'm
Just
sorry.
disgust of where I am. Nihilith is he's about 5'9", male, just sort of light brown hair, blue eyes, nearly 30, and kind of fairly well built. He's just tired. He's been traveling for a few days, and he really doesn't want to be here. As he walks in, he looks at the letter and just goes, "I'm here for Gregor the Red."
So as you very loudly announce your presence, you notice off to the right there's an entire room of what look like soldiers, and a couple of gentlemen who are definitely not soldiers, or at least not dressed like soldiers. They all turn and look at you. There's a clerk standing behind a desk, and he goes, "Yes, right. You'll be in there."
Right. Let's get this over with. And I make my way over to the group. Right. So, who the hell are you lot?
Well, I guess this would be as good a time as any. You see Brian's character Tirig and Dylan's character Declan standing at the back of this large group, trying to find a place to sit in this very crowded room.
I'm one of the other mercenary fools who's run out of luck, so I need a bit of money, and Sir Gregor's got it.
Found work. I think that it'll be alright. All that Trig says.
Got a warm piece of wall if you want to lean against it with. No bloody seats in the whole place.
Somebody talk. Somebody talk.
Trig is already leaning against the wall next to this other man.
Y'all are just like,
Yeah, you guys are.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Fucking. I'm tired. I just want somewhere to rest.
Wise
All right.
choice.
Just.
Wise choice indeed.
If there's a patch of floor, I can just have a wee nap. That would be great. I've been travelling for 2 days.
Well, that's lucky.
Lucky.
I've been
Christ.
traveling for more than a week.
Yeah, whatever.
For a whole month, isn't
You know what I mean when I say that he's lucky.
Oh, sorry. Did I say 2 days? I meant I don't care. My bad.
All right. So you gentlemen are having this very obvious pissing contest about how long you've been traveling. Nebulara.
oh dear.
It is wet. It is muddy. It is rainy and it's cold. And I imagine that well, it's been raining for 2 days. So, however you've found shelter and camped along your way, and you've arrived at this. At least you think this is the place. I mean, you hope not. But it is the only other tavern that you've come by in several days.
Alright, well, I guess this is where I'm supposed to be. And you'll see she enters, and despite the rain and the mud, there's a light breeze that's just encasing her body. Not a single raindrop is on her. And though her feet appear to be flat on the floor, though they are bare, there is no dirt, there is no mud. It is like everything is swept out from her presence. And she'll walk up to whom she appears to be somebody that works there and says, "Excuse me, sir,
Yes, can I help you?
I received a letter from Gregor the Red, and I
Yes, you want that room right over there.
So this is the right place.
Yes, unfortunately, it is the right place.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you, sir. And she'll take out like a gold coin, set it on the counter.
His demeanor just obviously changes. Oh, yes, and thank you for coming. Thank you.
Absolutely. And she like flips through her book one more time, like trying to see if she has any notes about this place at all. Well, I guess let's begin to the room of men, who will certainly ask if I could grant their wish, says as she runs forward, because it is very well known that Ergenasi are descendants of Jinn, and she is very used to people assuming she is one and asking her to grant their wishes. So she enters and just kind of looks around and overhears the pissing contest that's going in the corner, and decides not to say a word and just set herself down on the floor, but she's sitting, but it's like there's a constant breeze ever moving her hair and her clothes, like it never stops, and she just flips open her book and gets back to reading.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, is that Nebula out there on the floor?
Oh, dear heavens. Is that the voice that I swore I'd never hear again?
Nebula eyes. Declan! How you been?
I know who you are, Declan.
I haven't seen you since last summer.
And we've both made it here.
You must be most comfortable in the rain.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Your water genasi thing you got going on for you.
No, I'm an air genasi.
Air genasi. I can never tell the difference. It's a different shade of blue to me.
Yes, I understand that your eyesight is waning after all these years.
I
and
have to
probably
take
the hit
notes.
you took last summer.
I don't like to talk about it.
Have you been summoned here by this Gregor the Red?
Indeed, I have. I've run a little bit of trouble. Me and old... What should I name the Auroch that I apparently have?
Maurice!
Maurice. Me and Maurice are running a spot of bad luck. Running out of food, we're running out of money, as it were. So Gregor's got what we need. And apparently you must need something too.
He's promised me at least some more pages from my book. I'm hoping to find a little bit more knowledge on the spells that I've been acquiring, but I don't know. I received some letter. I don't know how he got my address. I didn't even know where I was going to be at the time.
Well, all is according to Daenerys' plan. As long as you keep your book and you keep learning, you push forward the way of Daenerys.
Right.
So bless your journey.
Right. There. And who are these fine fellows you have with you?
Well, we haven't really exchanged names. This is a surly one right here. I think he might be a cleric of some sort. And the other, what? I don't know. Gentlemen, this is Nebula. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hello, darling.
Sorry, I'm trying so hard not to sneeze.
Pink elephant!
Okay. I
It's
don't
fitting.
need to
We're in
anymore.
a rainy setting. Maybe he's.
My name is Tirig.
Hello, Terry.
He offered gold. I don't have much use for it.
I would just like to point out that he did not offer gold.
Oh, he didn't?
He says you all owe him a favor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's
Well,
good.
you
that
didn't-
we clear up.
I apologize. I did not. I thought I didn't specify that. I apologize.
I cut out during the introduction. Everyone else was saying there was monetary reward, so I was like, okay, there's probably monetary reward. Tirig
So
says,
we owe this guy
I owe
favor.
him a favor.
Indeed,
I
you
don't
you
know.
owe him a debt.
Okay, I vaguely
Join the club.
I'd rather have it called in now than later.
Are we all indebted to this man? All of us.
Apparently.
So it would seem. Except for Sylphina, who has... Sylphina, you, no stranger to adventures and travel, have had a bit of bad luck. Your horse took a nasty tumble and fell
Not the pony!
and died. And for the last week, you've been out in the wilds looking for a place to regroup and try and find some form of civilization. And for the past 2 days, it's been nothing but a torrential downpour. So you've been trudging through the mud and the muck and the rain, and you see the lights of a tavern.
I kind of head on into the tavern. She's about 6'8", with like a deep copper kind of scale on her. But like throughout her scale, she has like a bit of a yellower, kind of almost if the sun hits it the right way, it looks golden
Ooh.
kind of scales through her. And she comes in, kind of cloak up, drenched through all of her clothes, kind of muttering to herself, "Not right now. No, don't stop. Just go away. Just go away." And she kind of just walks into the bar, just takes a deep breath because it's been so cold. She was still muttering. She's like, "Can you just stop? Just go away." And did she also receive a letter, or is she just wandering?
You just kind of wandered in, just the misfortune of adventure.
She kind of like wanders in and looks up. She's like, oh,
You like close.
can I warm up here? Or
So you just like close the door and you turn around and there's a massive stuffed bear right in front of you. As you like peek around the corner, you see there's a clerk sitting at a desk. And have you got any coin?
I have a silver I can spare, I guess. Stop.
He like looks around you.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I have a silver.
That'll sure. You just come right on in. That's fine. And
Do we happen to see, like, is she visible from the room where we're
Yeah,
at?
do we see this happening?
maybe only just now, as she's finally like stepped in and given the clerk a silver piece, and maybe a slight muttering to herself. It's this large copper dragonborn.
Just remark under my breath, who invited the freak show?
Oh my dear. I have not gotten a chance to speak to a dragonborn of that color. I must go. And she picks
Trust,
up
it's not what it's cracked up to be.
and goes straight up to Sophia and she goes, "Oh, darling." And she like wanders around you as if you are like a piece of art. And she's like taking notes. And she's like, do you have a name, child?
People call me Sophina, but I guess you can call me Sylphie if you want.
Do you prefer it in your native language or common? I know both.
My mom usually talked in common, so that's what I'm used to.
A copper dragon, are you? Interesting. Tell me, what is your main breath ability? Do you have one?
Well, yeah, it's, well, especially in the rain, it's a little amplified by lightning, usually.
Oh, wonderful. I've heard wonderful things about lightning dragons. All right. How old are you?
Oh, just 19.
Oh, you're very young for your kind.
I just needed to get out.
I heard dragon mothers can be very, very intimidating. The only dragon I knew was a man, and he was easy to push over.
While you're kind of talking to her, she's kind of like looking around, like...
She's like examining you, like up and down, like getting as close as possible, like drawing out your scales in her journal.
At this point, Nihilith is just snoring against a post in the tavern. just done.
Are you also here to meet with Gregor?
Gregor?
If you're here, you must have gotten a letter like the rest of us.
I've been traveling for some time. Maybe it didn't get to me yet. I don't know. Just
Well,
I had a tumble with my horse, so I'm just.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. The horse. Food for the other animals, I guess. But it's been very cold most of the walk.
Oh dear. All right. Well, if you're here, just come with me. I know where we're meeting, and come back here.
Perfect. I'll head on over with you.
Perfect.
I'm gonna follow her, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Okay.
And she goes up to that. She's like, Declan, look! I found a dragonborn to add to my book.
Heavens. I've read about your kind before. You look like a wee hatchling. You hardly look
She's
like you got
just
any years on
19.
you.
She's very young.
A bit skinny for her kind as well. You should jot that down. I know you're all big about these kinds of things.
Yes.
We'll have to compare notes later. Curious, do you have all of your teeth?
Most of them. I'm missing one over here. But
Oh, she's missing a tooth.
bar fights.
Going in.
Bar fights. I get a little mad sometimes until I start throwing punches.
Like.
So as you like bring Sophina into this room full of soldiers, and like hardened veterans and gruff men, the room becomes a little uneasy. Some of the men closer to you, they just kind of slowly look look behind. Like they're like having conversation, and one guy's just like mid drink, and he's like,
That little hatchling looks like a bit of a celebrity around these parts.
Oh, I guess you have caused a ruckus. I don't normally notice.
Oh, are people looking at me? Okay.
Okay.
Nah, I don't like all these eyes on me, but I mean, I guess I haven't seen a lot of me around here.
Show your respect, lads, and take your eyes elsewhere, she says to the room since she
they're all just like.
And I like snap away. What?
Thank you.
Observant
Thank you
feat,
for that.
Do I see anyone talking about maybe if they know why we're here, or talking about something that they shouldn't be talking about?
Say again
It
for
lets
me.
me with my observant feat, I look around the room. Do I see anyone talking about anything
There's
nefarious or something that they shouldn't necessarily be talking about, or maybe why they're here?
there's a lot of hushed, muttered conversations between the men in general, but none of it seems nefarious or of ill intent. They mostly just looks like they're making small talk, and just kind of keeping to themselves. I can switch my music now, I suppose. Let me do that. So sorry. Yeah.
Ooh, it's raining a little differently now, isn't it?
It's
Here on the roof.
roll 20 and their generic tavern noises.
That is Santa Claus, potentially on the rooftop.
Santa Claus.
Who the hell Santa Claus?
So, any other conversations happening at this particular moment?
I mean, Nihilith has jumped up from his sleep and
That's true.
That's because you woke me up
well, yes, but
Right.
everybody else was being rude.
with your loud voice. Alright, it's read the room, love. It's quiet time now.
Right, and I'll get you a blanket later, but you need to be respectful and introduce yourself to our new friend here.
I like this one.
Right. I am Nihilith. Be nice to me, and I might hear you.
Hi, Sylvie, and if you're nice to me, I'll throw you out the door.
Ooh, I like this dress.
I let out. And Nihilith just lets out a little smirk because he wasn't expecting such a harsh retort. He's like, kind of likes it, kind of respects it. Just like, all right, fine.
Alright, where's our proprietor? Where's this Gregor the Raid?
So was
DM
the
question. If we... What?
Nothing. Just
I have a question.
go on.
wait one time.
If
I'm
we
joking, I don't have one.
are... if we are indebted to this man, the people, us four, should know of him, correct?
Right.
So what do we know of him?
You know that in the past, well, he is something of local legend, especially in the areas of Baldur's Gate. He's led many heroic adventures and successful war parties, I guess you could say. He is now in his older years, and he's bounced from guild to guild, looking for work and trying to make himself a part of them. But some of the guild houses, especially in this part of Faerun, have become more of a bully than a mercenary guilds. They've started to take things from people, acting more like bandits and thieves than like soldiers for hire, and really just have become pretty much fully corrupt. and are kind of all working under the one banner of someone that we'll get to soon.
So our debts are all our own, essentially. We're not all
Right,
indebted to the same person.
Exactly. You're all indebted for various reasons that we'll venture into.
Can I just? Okay. As Nyland, can I just make an observation? If this guy's calling in this many favors at once, what the hell does he want us to do?
Well, that's the grand question, isn't it?
Does anybody know why we're here?
The letter just called us, at least for me.
I'm here
But
because the horse died.
I assumed like one of his animals had been injured, and they just wanted me to like poke it better. But if there's like 5 of us here, why? Or the rest are the rest of the rabble part of the rest of the people in here?
They're
part of the
definitely
favors he's called in?
definitely here for the meeting, and there are at least 25 to 30 other men here.
Do we know what Gregor looks like?
Yeah, he's about 6'2". He's a very muscular man in his late 30s, early 40s. He has short, black, salt and pepper now, but was black in his younger years, hair, and a short beard to match. And from his forehead, from the center of his forehead down the side of his right cheek, is a long red crescent scar. Anytime any of you have ever seen Gregor, he's always wearing this large, custom black steel full plate armor.
Gotcha.
Compensating.
Clearly.
Murdered out.
Well, all I know is that I always repay my debts, and Gregor had certainly gotten me out of a bit of a bind, and so he called for me, and I'm here, and now I've added a wonderful page to my book with this lovely dragonborn here, so I'd say it's definitely for something.
I'm just gonna point out of character amongst all these 6-foot plus people, Declan's gonna be 5'9", 5'10" on a good day.
Oh yeah, Laura is like
Normal
5'2". She's like very small.
I'm only 5'9" as well. Don't feel too bad.
There we go.
We're about half and half.
We're all 6'5". We're the next D&D NBA.
I love it.
Play basketball.
Man, you have a career in the city. Just plays anyway.
You guys are having these small interactions amongst yourselves, and the room starts to fall quiet, almost like a wave of silence that starts at the far end of the room and slowly works its way to you, and you see some of the other men kind of like looking around. And say, that's him. That's Gregor. And from the back side of the room, 2 men that are of no important circumstance. They're just essentially guards. Stand up, and between the 2 of them, you see Gregor, and they walk with him to the center of the room, and he walks to the front of the fireplace. I didn't switch my slide. I should have done that. So sorry. This is a generic photo of close to what Sir Gregor would look like, but with black hair. So there you go.
I see he still hasn't gotten rid of that old thing.
No, indeed. Well, that didn't. Why did that do that?
How can you move around in that armor?
You can't.
He looks a little stiff, doesn't he?
I'd give a lot to have a suit of armor like that.
Is there a D&D equivalent of the word giggity?
We need to make one now.
So as he steps forward into the front of the room, in front of the fireplace. Acquaintances, friends, people of note, people who have come on my behest, all of you. glad you're here. I'm glad you've joined me, even though I know it's been a very long, treacherous journey for some of you, I'm sure. I called you here because I am in need of your assistance and service. As some of you know, some of the local guilds have been less than polite and in the way they've handled themselves and carried themselves and represented themselves as guild houses. I have received word myself that this is in fact due to one guild master buying out certain factions of guilds and kind of putting them all under one banner and operating in such a way that it's more of a group of pirates than mercenaries for hire. And I find it disgusting that the people of Faerun have no one to depend on other than law enforcement. That's some of them are far out of reach. I mean, let's face it, this isn't Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, Candlekeep, any of those places. It's up to people like us, people with honor, dignity, respect. He kind of glances over at your group. Some of you are here because you have to be. Some of you are here because you chose freely to come. Some of you may not even be here for any specific reason. But if you would like to dedicate yourself to something much more important than gold, women, food, and a place to sleep, then I ask you to join me as we find a way to bring peace and order back to this land. And one of the guards, the soldiers on the side, picks up a small tapestry and he unfurls it. And it's a red field, and embroidered in white is the logo, is a large beast. It has 6 legs, and it's reared back on its hind two. It has 4 tendrils that whip out from each side on its back. It has the face of a panther. Those of you that are familiar with a displacer beast, this is 100% what that is. And he kind of holds it up for the entire room to see. And he says, if you'll join me, become part of this newfound guild, we will bring honor back to the realm. And with that, he just kind of hooks it near the mantle of the fireplace. He says, you can sign up right over there. If you excuse me, I'm gonna go get a drink. And he kind of walks off in between the crowd and walks to the bar to get an ale. You notice that it's not very inspiring. He seems very tired, and just kind of like he's not enthused with it himself. And he
feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like my character would just say, "We came all this way just to hear that."
Seems like
So,
a lofty goals. Something a small band like this could take care of.
I mean, couldn't he just, try and muscle his way into the top of their organization and then simmer it down a bit? Why does he need us?
Grand question, isn't it?
There's definitely more to this.
Like, he could, use a cane or something to get around. He's getting older.
Yeah, I like this one.
Carrick will head to the bar where Gregor went.
And you see Gregor kind of wedge his way in between a few others at the bar and get a drink. As he turns back from the bar, he sees you, Tirig. Lets out a sigh. Well, glad to see you could join us. I assume you...
Is this you calling in my debt?
Effectively. It's, I hope to do it at some point for something more, well, not more, less important. But this is fairly vital.
I will sign on. But you should know that asking me to sign my life over to you is not what I would call a fair deal. And then Tyrek will leave to go make his mark on the paper.
Alright.
Sylvie will kind of look over at her new friend and just kind of be like, so, like, why are you guys here? You guys got a letter?
Yes, we received a letter from Gregor. I've travelled with him before, long ago, and he essentially saved my life and gave me an artifact that I could not reject. He said that one day all he asked was a favor in return, and I guess this is his favor, but I just don't see this as a logical ideal. I mean, listen, I've got pages and pages in my book of this man, and he was a very strong, very logical, very wise-minded fellow. This sort of undertaking is not something that you just band together for. We can't save the world, especially from itself.
Sometimes influence and politics gets in the way. That might be why he needs a little extra manpower. Being from a big city, politics always tend to be involved. Something like this.
That is correct. Are you planning on signing the sheet, Sylvie?
I mean, I wasn't really meant to be here, but I got nothing else going on.
Be here.
What was that?
I thought you said that you were just waiting on your letter.
I mean, maybe. I never got one, but I mean, I must have come in for a reason. I don't think I have any idea who this guy is.
Oh dear, Declan, I have just pulled a child into this. Dear, I'm not ready. I'm so sorry, child.
She seems like a capable sort. Look at her, she's bloody huge.
I got nothing else going on. Don't mind helping out, really.
You say that again.
She didn't lose those teeth, you know, just playing children's game. It's a big lass.
Aye, well, a favour's a favour, and so I guess I don't really have a choice. And you'll see her go up, and she like swoops her name on the page. And...
Sure. Sylvia will come up and sign behind too.
Well, now I just feel like you're my responsibility, so don't die, all right?
I'll do what I can, but I mean,
I've met an angry dragon or two, and I don't want to be on your mother's bad side.
well, that's fair. My mom is kind of a dick, so.
Well, heavens!
And when Declan goes to sign his name into the ledger and stuff, he'll pull out like a small, like, waxen stick. It's a thin one. and he'll get together what he needs to in order to just kind of melt down a few drops next to his signature, and he'll brandish a ring from his pocket with a emblazoned with a silver dragon with golden horns on it. He'll stamp it right next to his name. Be like, there you go. Oh, Gregor will know what that means.
Oh,
Sure,
no,
he
it's
doesn't
a
even
fan
sign
for
his
theatric.
name. Whenever he goes up, he actually pricks his finger on the edge of a dagger hanging off his belt and just pushes a thumbprint down on it. He doesn't seem like he knows how to read or write
The
very well.
the guard that's doing the bookkeeping there, he just looks at you.
That's my mark. Is that an issue?
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Yes, you're all right.
If you have, I guess, if you have a quill, I will sign my
No,
name.
no, don't worry about it. There's a long line behind you. Go on, move
Keurig
move
is
along.
very happy because he's like, I don't remember how many R's are in my name.
Right down next to his name, Mr. Guard. Just put thumb pricker. Just call him that. That's what he's gonna be to the guild. Whisper that to the guard. Thumb pricker.
Nihilith, are you coming to sign your name? Are you just gonna stand in the corner like that?
The entire room just looks back. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that directed at me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was in my own thoughts. Sorry. It's fine. I'll come all this way. I might as well.
One of
Nyland sort of reluctantly pulls out a writing implement and just sort of shakes his name across the paper.
Silky,
Christ.
Silky kind of like put like her like hand on her shoulder and be like, I think this is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I go up to I want to go up to Gregor. I was kind of waiting for everyone else to speak to him, and I'm just like, what's going on, really? Why are we really here? You could have hired anybody to come here and do this. Why have you called in all your favors?
I didn't hire just anybody, though, did I? I asked for you, Nyland, and the rest of the group here.
I mean,
you all owe me favors. It's true, but I think fate will show you why you're here.
Can I ask a quick question to the DM?
Yeah.
So I've got the detect thoughts spell. Now, if you just use the surface level, as in not probing, but just the surface level thoughts, are they aware of that? It doesn't really specify very well. It says if you probe deep, the target is aware of it, whether you succeed or fail, but it doesn't say that for the surface level thoughts.
So you're able to discern that his words and thoughts seem genuine, and he's very tired.
It's very tired.
He's very tired, and not in a physical. He needs to sleep sense. He's physically drained, yes, but also emotionally, just very distraught and weary.
Right. Okay.
He says, he kind of cuts himself short, and he slaps his hand on your shoulder. And, regardless, you don't have a choice. You have to be here. He walks away.
Just mutter obscenities under my breath.
So at some point, about 15 minutes later, as you guys are having this conversation and relaxing, and trying to like gather your thoughts around what's going on here, you see a younger man, clad in like a leather armor, carrying a quiver and bow and a long sword. He has a cloak pulled up over his head, covered, it's soaked in rain water. He comes in, he walks straight through the room full of soldiers, and he goes up to Sir Gregor. He whispers in his ear, and then he turns
What does he
around
say?
I would like to read his lips using Observant, if I can.
as he walks up to Sir Gregor and goes like this and whispers in his ear.
I figured I was on the other side.
I
Still
wish
got
I had
the
superior
textbooks.
hearing. I want to hear it. Oh my god.
Might as well just go like, what are you saying?
Say it with your chest. If you want to know that badly, you guys can make perception rolls. See if you can
Can't
even.
I just use detect thoughts again?
And I walk up close.
Nebulara is
I won't use that.
on the dragon, trying to convince her to allow her to experiment on her scales, and then the dragonborn just walks away. I guess it's just
Right.
like,
That's
no,
why.
I didn't mean to offend you. I just please come back.
Right, and that's why she did so terribly on her perception.
Yeah.
She was, yeah. Oh, jeez.
It's not a natural. It's +5.
That's a 15 plus 5 though.
Yeah.
You hear some things,
Maybe.
or see some things
Can you
moving
see some
from his
reactions?
mouth.
Or...
I'll walk back so you can mess
you,
with my scale.
You notice that this man that's entered, speaking to Gregor, he goes up and he whispers in his ear, and Gregor kind of goes, and he looks at him with a very serious expression. And the man shakes his head once and turns around and walks out of the room.
Bar or like just that room?
Walks out of the room into the rest of the bar, grabs a drink, and just kind of steps away.
Is that what I see or what?
That's what you see specifically.
That's what I see.
Mm.
Okay. Can I walk up to Sir Gregor and just go, it looks like you just got some bad news. My character's very nosy. I did write that down in his personality traits as well. He's extremely nosy.
Yeah.
Very nosy.
Unpleasant news, yes. We have a problem.
Unpleasant in this business?
It's always unpleasant.
Care to share? I'm really pushing him on this.
There's a group of about 50 mercenaries 5 miles away from this establishment, and they are sweeping south, heading off to go do something that's probably not good.
What do you want us to do? Ask them nicely to piss off?
I don't want you to do anything. I want you to wait.
I'm a bit taken aback by that. I just sort of... and then turn around and walk away.
I'm tired of waiting. What are we here for?
Eric will head out and call Hawk back to him and then head back into the inn.
Okay. Declan. Gregor looks at you. We're here to make a plan. Many of you know. Some of you don't. But many of you are aware of... His name's Sir Leston. He's the head... No. It's Sir Leston. It's CERL.
Oh.
Lestin.
Okay.
Sierra Lestin.
Yes.
Sierra Lestin.
Did I hear that as well?
Yeah. This is,
Oh.
he's talking to the whole room, but he's looking at Declan.
Oh, he's like
All right.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. Could you spell that out again?
I'll spell it in the.
Yeah. That's a,
Yeah.
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 Right, okay. Yeah, perfect.
He's the leader of this ragtag group of men, these mercenaries that are sweeping through and destroying towns, villages, and taking whatever they want. And he has claimed for himself a fortress. And it is my thinking that if we can take the fortress, then we can run him and his group of bastard mercenaries out of town and not have to worry about them anymore.
You see, Nebular like getting ready to like touch Sophina with like a hand of fire because she's like experimenting on this dragon word because she's so excited. And then she stops right as she's like, "Are you asking us to do a siege?"
Perhaps.
Do you want to
How
say that?
important is it that the castle remains intact?
Just one at a time, please.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Declan, you were saying.
Would killing Celestin be the prime objective?
I think that we need to kill everyone inside. They've all committed heinous crimes. I think the world would be a better place if we got rid of them. I think there can't be any more than 100.
Gregor, you've never been the one to have this sort of crusade kind of mentality. What's changed? Why seek the blood of so many on such a whim?
Have you not noticed all the killing sprees and the Have you ever come into a town that you were there to save? And when you roll in, you see dozens of dead children, women, even the animals, killed for no reason other than to take the things of value that they have and leave. And they were there. They were there to save that town from a creature. The creature still lives. They took those people, they took that town's money, slaughtered the town, and let the creature live, and then took everything that the town had in resources.
You believe all 100 of these men are all equally guilty?
They all volunteered.
You're sure they weren't? I'm sorry.
It's the mercenary way, my friend. You cannot guarantee that all 100 of them are soulless, heathenish, honorless vagabonds. Not to mention, as he looks around, there's 30 of us, 100 of them.
Aye, but I count for like 20, so.
Numbers mean nothing in the night.
Which means, needless to say, a siege is not an option.
Well, I hadn't really planned on a siege. Maybe perhaps more of a covert mission.
What you're asking... He's gonna actually stop addressing the room. Let us talk about it. You know, he'll go up to Gregor to try and like silence the conversation down between them. Plan wherever. It's like, what you're asking is for at least half the men in here to die. Sooner or later, covert or not, we're gonna need a distraction. In order to confuse 100 men, half of these men are probably gonna have to die in the process. You know what you're asking of these men?
He looks back at the room. He looks at you. He says, out loud, for the whole room to hear. Any man not willing to give his life for this organization is free to leave. No one moves.
You've chosen your men well. I'll be sure not to be one of the fools on the funeral pyre to make your mad quest succeed. But to be honest,
He says,
it sounds like a journey worth writing about.
well, what do you think you're here for? Do you think I just intended to throw you in with a bunch of mindless soldiers? Of course not. You're part of the covert team.
Specker!
I expected no less from you, Gregor. It requires wisdom to understand wisdom. Music is nothing if the audience is deaf. You and I think alike. I think between me, Nebulara, and a couple of the other ones I've spotted in the crowd, we might have a fighting chance. You better pick your distraction well.
If I understand correctly, we have about 15 more men on the way. Still slim odds, I know, but hopefully it's enough. Which leads me to my next point. The plan. If you would, follow me to my private quarters. And we'll talk.
Lead the way, old man.
Nylinth just orders a drink and then follows along.
I was supposed to be following. I'm still
yeah.
distracted. Right.
Yeah, he motions. He points at all of you. Motions for you guys to come. He looks at Nebulara standing there with Sophina. Bring the big one. He walks through the door to his room.
Oh dear. What before? Darling.
He's the dragon one.
Sweet darling. This sounds like something that could quite be deadly. You do not have to join us. I am burdened by a promise. You are not.
It's an adventurous fun one. I think this sounds like a fun time, and she'll kind of pop off a scale and kind of like hand it.
Oh,
Like, let's go. Come on.
oh dear. All right. And she shoves it in her book, and then she like puts everything shut. All right. Well, I will always have your back. Just know this. You will not die on this adventure. I will keep you alive. And then she like jumps forward, just like holding her book with excitement and the dragon scale in her hand.
Think of it as a research opportunity.
Everything is a researcher.
Oh, Christ.
Right. Tirig, Nebulara, Sophina, Nylinth. Gregor wants to talk to us specifically into the back room.
I feel like we'll bring up the rear.
Let's do this.
Come in.
I've just started.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just getting more and more irate with each step up the stairs. At this point, I'm tired.
Well, you're not going upstairs. You're just going. There's a room off to the side of this one that leads into a large, like, private chambers. There's a nice round table in the center of the room, and a 4-poster bed in the corner. Another fireplace. It's very simple. What you would find in probably the equivalent of a suite in a small tavern. On the table is a map, and it is a map, or moreover a layout of the fortress in question. He walks over to the table and he takes a seat. He says, "Please join me. If you'll notice,
We'll sit next to him.
so if you'll notice, as I mentioned to Declan, I've called you all here because I can't imagine anyone more fitting for a mission of this caliber. There's a great deal of risk and no chance of reward other than glory, honor, respect, all of those things that some say don't matter.
Nay, Gregor, bite your tongue. My grandfather used to always say, to win without risk, triumph without glory.
Aren't you the one that said you needed a bed?
Shut up.
I reinforce what I said earlier. I definitely like this one.
I'm here because I have a debt. No other
You're
reason.
dropping pearls of wisdom from generations past, and you're sitting here knocking my fucking nads left and right. Shut up.
Tirig,
Knocking your nads?
you're literally not upset with throwing your life away for this debt.
No, I am very upset. But
Ah.
no, on
I've
this
had to
debt.
lay siege to a force like this.
It is right beyond the debt to ask of this fact.
Don't worry, love. If he throws his life away, I'll catch it for him.
He can catch your life, Tirig. That's wonderful. You
I
must
think,
Sophie.
I think you misunderstood a bit there. Bit of a bimbo, aren't you? Thought sorcerers were meant to be intelligent.
I like him.
Gregor,
Sophie, oh.
Gregor smiles briefly.
If you know enough about sorcerers, you know about my kind. And getting on the bad side of the storm is not a place to be. Declan, shut up.
It's flexing a sorcerer's shite. Boy, spells this, that. Yeah.
What about I?
I know you're an ornery one, but you're not a cruel one. He's a good man.
Storms are never cruel, they are just part of nature. Remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that, Nyland.
During that
yeah,
banter.
I'll definitely bank that course.
Tropical thunderstorm or a woman scorned. Pick your battles.
I thought I was meant to be a wise ass.
Gregor.
During all that banter, Sophie's kind of just like muttering to herself, kind of in the back corner, and she kind of just pipes up at the end. And she's like, "I really don't know what's going on, but hot meal every now and then might be nice, but otherwise, I'm a little bloodshed's good. Good for a good time."
So you're muttering to yourself, and having this interaction, and from behind you, you feel something poke your leg. As you turn and
I'll
look,
kind of look down.
turn and look down, and standing at about 2.5 foot tall is a gnome. He's wearing these dark tan pants and little like slip-on leather moccasin type shoes. He has a small leather vest and no undershirt, and he's wearing a brown cap. On his back is a small pack that he has, and he pokes you, and when you look at him, you see that he has a look of horror on his face. He quickly pulls out a pen and pad
Oh,
and
God.
writes vicious
Oh, fuck, no.
and writes viciously on it, and he holds it up to you, and it says, "Where are the voices coming from?"
Dear Lord, Sylphie, did you have that gnome in your trousers?
I don't know this troll. Hello?
Does
And
not
I'll
know
kinda
this gnome, but I know this gnome far too well.
Tirig doesn't know.
kind of like,
Tyrig doesn't know the gnome. Brian does.
Oh dear.
I know
Just so
far too
confused,
much
I'm like,
information.
is he part of the group, or are we meant to? Is he an external
Gregor-
event happening right now?
Gregor smiles again briefly, and he says, "Excuse me, this is my assistant / traveling companion, His name is Ralph Fetcherson.
You are fucking kidding me! We're bringing Ralph back into this? I'm gonna kill the gnome. I swear to God.
It doesn't matter if you kill him. He
Can
just
I-
comes back.
and-
He just comes back every single fucking time.
Can I just
Ralph,
notice?
fuck me over, dude.
I just noticed. She's like just seething. Can I just use the command spell to say sit or something? Just
Oh no, this is completely out of character.
Ralph.
You do not understand.
Ralph.
We're kicking Ralph. We're not allowed to have him in the party. Dude. Fuck you.
This is great.
Fuck you.
This is
He did this on
everything I
purpose.
wanted in
what on earth did he do to you?
I've seen things.
Let's take a moment, just a brief moment, and let Steph talk about her experience.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
So, we meet Ralph, right? This cute little gnome, and the character I was playing loved him. I just think I'm gonna be friends with him, and I'm gonna take him everywhere, and I'm gonna my bag, and I'm gonna on my food, and it's gonna be great. This motherfucker, as I'm sneaking in an entire house without my party, trying to find information, jumps out of my pack, is then running around the house stealing things, and making so much noise that I get caught. And then guess what? Ralph is part of the evil side
Ralph
and brings
was a
me
little
to the
shitbag.
BBEG and almost fucking gets me killed.
Oh my god.
Fuck
this is so
Ralph.
long.
Fuck him.
This is nostalgic.
I just turned.
My
turned to
experience
Ralph.
with Ralph
Can I-
was
can I
much
keep
more
him?
just passive.
No, he killed me. And he got you killed because you were under the command spell.
He did get me killed. He did. I remember there was a staff and things were going insane.
And thus was the beginning adventure of Ralph Fetcherson, the legendary gnome.
Were we the first Ralph encounter?
Huh?
Were we the first Ralph
Yeah.
encounter?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Maybe I should handle him then. If I've got the command spell, I can just tell him to stay whenever he's misbehaving.
Metagaming. It's
Gregor
fine.
just kind of goes, I apologize. He doesn't speak, typically.
Yes, he does, that fucker.
He's deaf and mute.
Well, he's obviously not deaf, he's hearing voices. Who is this creature you have with you?
It's Ralph Fetcherson, the gnome.
And why is he here?
He's my assistant / traveling companion. I saved Ralph as a child many years ago.
Did you?
I
Wait,
did.
what did the note say again?
He said, it just says, where are the voices coming from?
I'll kind of like, during that he's explaining it, I'll kind of like bend down and take like the quill or whatever he's doing and be like, all around, but no one else can see them.
See,
Comma, can you?
He looks at the note and just goes, and then he just shoves the note, the paper, back into his pack, slides, he's still squinting his eyes, slides the pack back on.
He's still got the pack.
And then he wanders over to Gregor's side, and from underneath the table you hear like a wood dragging against wood sound, and there's just a small, like a little tyke's wooden chair is what it looks like one of those children's chairs, and he like sits up in it, and like he like rests his hands on the table and just starts going.
He has a booster seat.
You've certainly found a band of friends, haven't you? Interesting.
Right. So, the map.
Indeed, the map.
What's your plan thus
The
far?
map.
I'm willing to poke so many holes.
Map. So, if you'll notice, there are two main points of entry. One is up the main path here. It leads into, it's kind of the north. Yeah? No, south, I'm sorry. south, near the between the first rampart and the guard post tower. There's a gate you can enter. It's been fortified in such a way that is really the only point of entry, but there is a guard, not a guard, a small back entrance to the kitchen. Here, you see what I'm talking about, Dylan? Down here. Oops.
Oh, I saw a lot of blips.
Right here.
Alright.
There's a path that comes up around and kind of bends up and around right here. And you can get in through there. The other place is right here, where it's used as like a rear entrance for help, servants, and the like. Correct.
Where's the main entrance?
Right there. Right here.
That's
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Okay. Tracking.
But this is the main entrance. This is the possible entrance we can get into.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest here, Gregor. We are an interesting bunch. How do you expect... Well, let's be honest. We've got a dragon, we've got a Genasi, and we've got some humans. How are we going to sneak in without being covered?
Well, as I mentioned before, we'll have about 45 able-bodied men to provide a distraction.
To throw their lives away?
You're asking the wrong questions, love.
Just to clarify, you want to use 45 able-bodied men to draw out as many people from the castle as you can, correct? At which point we either sneak in or just walk in the back entrance and kill this leader guy, Celestin.
I'm sure it won't be that easy. He has the private quarters, and it is, from what I've been told, and he points right here.
Where do they get their water from?
Where do they get their water from? I would imagine they have probably a well inside the fortress where they draw water from.
Do you know if they have any magic users?
Celestin himself. Other than that, I'm unaware.
Does Sir Leston and his people have any idea what you're doing, what you're planning?
It's possible. I won't say that it's impossible, but I
Well,
don't. But I don't find
sorry.
it likely. I believe if they were onto us, they would have tried to mow us down by now.
Hmm.
This is just a lone fort on a hill. Is this surrounded by a city?
It is a lone fort. It is out in the middle of a thick wood. It was abandoned for a very long time, and it's been restructured and built up to be usable once again.
Do you have any spies inside?
2.
Okay, good. This is good information. Oh, yes. Okay. So the question is, he has 100 well-armed, non-farming or agricultural men pulled up in there. Dishonorable thieves. Being be fair.
It's very
Do
true.
we have? Is there potentially, given maybe the information from your thieves, or sorry, spies, information on a nearby village they may be attacking soon in order to keep up stocks, supplies, and morale? That is a lot of mouth to feed.
Let's do a little roll here. Let me see if I can. All right, and Dylan, Declan rather. I'm sorry. I guess I should use your character name. High or low?
Hi.
Yep. Spies have reported that within the next 2 days, there's going to be some kind of a raid on a small village about a week's travel from the fortress.
Okay. This could play to our benefit.
We'll
Don't
warn the
tell me
village
you're thinking,
whenever they
I
leave for
think
the
you're-
raid.
He usually sends anywhere between 50 to 60 men on these raids.
You're going to let this village be decimated.
They're going to attack it whether we like it or not. However,
So we could just send word to the village and have them evacuate.
Or we
that
could.
It's
Would
9
raise-
days travel.
Would it not be more prudent to set up an ambush if we know they're going? Deal with that many men off the bat using the element of surprise, and then
Yes, but then you'd still have to deal with the fortress at a later date, and we would take a chance on losing some of our own forces.
we'd still, at best, have 45 men against 50. We might lose men. We might not even win the battle. The ambush isn't the answer. What is the answer is to not tell the villagers at all this is going to happen. To poison all of their foods. All of them. Force them. When these men come and descend upon them and take everything that they love and own, they'll be taking in all manner of ill-gotten gain. They will suffer for it. Disease spreads a lot faster than a man's blade amongst the ranks.
Dear Lord, Declan, what happened to you in this past year?
that's pretty dark.
A ranger is by all means pragmatic, and by the tenets of Denier in my paladin order, knowledge is true power. If there's anything I know about well-armed men, 100 strong, first way to kill them is to go by their stomachs. Or their coin purses. Stomachs usually faster.
I was thinking that we could wait until the expedition leaves, invade through the back, kill whoever needs to be killed, open the gates, let our forces in, and then when they return, they have to fight us from outside of the fortress.
How far away is this village? Like, what are your
1
advice?
week's travel.
1 week?
What?
And how far
No.
away is
The village is the fortress is not 4 weeks. It's
the village?
the village
1
is
week.
about a week's travel.
Weeks travel from the fort.
Indeed.
So how far away is the fort from us?
About 5 days.
So we get there, we have 4 days to take the fortress before they even get to the village. Then 7 more days to do whatever we have to do to fortify it.
Both sides of plans, though I'd say within time constraints we could do this faster.
Let half his force go out on a raid and attack them in the meantime. It's even numbers, still a gamble. Gregor, you're always a discerning individual. I say we poison the lot. Wreck them from the inside out, attack in force.
So be it.
1 man in the fortress is worth 5 outside of it. I think that we should poison the fortress. What I also think that we need to get a foothold on the inside first, and then take it.
Well,
They wouldn't happen to be recruiting, are they?
I'm sure they're always looking for men to join their ranks. In fact, I'm pretty certain of it. But we can finish deciding that after we take a break. So let's take like a 10-minute break if we can.
Okay.
And so we'll come back at, it's 8:28 Central Time. We'll come back at 8:38.
Perfect.
All right, we're back again with the rest of this adventure. So, we're taking a brief break, but I believe we're in the middle of formulating a plan, and that plan does involve poisoning a village.
Or just the fortress. We don't have to poison both.
Why not
If they
both?
poison their water, we can't take it. If they're
Well,
poison
that
their
is a
water, we
good
can't
point.
take the fortress.
Right, because you said if he infiltrates the fortress, he can poison the food from the inside.
We already have a plan. Perfect plan. We plan to poison the food with which they intend to feed these 100 men off of, and they won't be none the wiser that we did it. If we actually go in now, there's an element of risk. They might catch us in the act. Whereas this is clandestine. This is a brilliant plan. So long as, to be honest, I don't think we should tell the villagers what we're planning. We should.
I am not comfortable with killing a village.
I don't trust peasants to keep our secrets. And
Neither do I.
If you want to win a war, you've got to fight like the enemy. Heroics don't save lives.
So Gregor just kind of leans back in his chair, folds his arms.
See, I got the arm fold. The man agrees with me. I already know, Gregor.
Are we
He's taught me
really
everything I
trying
know.
to save lives here? All you've told us is that the guilds have essentially become a worldwide banditry force, and we need to take them down. How is that going to say? I mean, if we save one,
We need to send a message, and the best way to do that is to eliminate this group. I think if we do that, the rest of the guilds will fall in line.
What the message you're sending to the populace is we're okay with letting them die.
They don't need
Tyrion
to
makes
know.
a point.
What they don't know won't hurt our guild. Won't hurt the dungeon type.
I think, is there no way to lessen the impact on the villagers relative to the folks in the castle?
Sure.
Can't we just,
You could warn them.
if we, it's not even that. If we poison the villagers' food, is there no way to make sure the villagers are able to survive it?
The only thing that I could think of is poisoning the food and having the town evacuate, and that seems like a risky maneuver.
They will know someone tipped off those villagers. They will know there's a spy in their ranks. We may lose every advantage we've gained thus far.
The only
What about
thing
if-
I see to save the village is to bombard the fortress before they go.
Then you're sticking 45 men against 100.
With my power, I can take out 100.
It's 100 men behind a stone wall.
I am one magical being against 100
Well,
men.
if you can snap your fingers and make that entire fort disappear, then we'd only have 45 against 100 after that.
And you might not be the only magical being around, love.
Shy of working a miracle, or 5.
We could
Seven.
join
But
them.
doesn't the cleric have a divinity or something? Can't you talk to your god?
I specialise in fighting undead, usually. Look, I'm not suited for mass combat, right? I'm good in a well-oiled party. But fighting 100 men would be a bit challenging.
I heard everything you've just said, and then you said well-oiled party. All I thought was, oh dear Lord, what are you trying to get us to do?
I understand.
I'll talk to you about that later, love. Don't worry. But
Ralph,
just-
Ralph is just sitting there beside Gregor, looking at all of you writing.
He's drawing a family portrait.
Drawing a stick figure. They're very large. Anyway. Listen.
I mean, I could prepare some spells to perhaps raise all the villagers that we kill from the dead and use them as an army, like a meat shield. But it would
I
take a
don't
long
quite
time.
understand why we're not just going to join them. At least under false pretenses.
So
They'll be
you're saying all
recruiting
of
men.
us? All
Just
of us.
walk in as recruits, poison their food then, eat from our own rations until the poison takes effect, then open the gates and let our army in.
So you're saying all of us? All of us?
This sounds like a brilliant plan. So, poison the food supply. We join, as you're saying, Terek. Is it Terek? Yes, Terek. I'd make sure I got that right. Join, as he says, so that we can actually keep eyes on what's happening in the fort as all of these men fall to the disease. And then, yes, we notify exactly when to strike. We open the gates from the inside. We destroy them on two fronts before they even know who's doing it. This sounds like a... I'm down for what Tirek's saying and for what I'm saying.
You really just want to poison someone, don't you?
I want to see these honorless vagabonds dead in the dirt, just like Gregor.
The man has a solid plan, and
They take more
I
than
can
they need.
keep. I can keep Gregor updated with my telepathy. So there's no need for any of us to. There's no need for any of your spies, or us to leave the castle and potentially be compromised. If we do infiltrate, that is.
We all seem to be decently well armed. Any mercenary company worth their salt will think that we don't need. They won't need to equip us.
Well,
We'd be good hires.
if this is your plan. He walks over to a chest at the foot of his bed. He throws it open. He pulls out several garments from inside of it. And he walks over and he tosses the pile on the table. They are all black cloaks with a thin red outlined, threaded outline. And on the fronts of the cloak, there is a similar sigil as to what you saw on the banner. And there are there are 5 of them. And he says, just so they know we're sending a real message about who we are. Also,
Are they cloaks or are they banners?
no, they're cloaks. The banners will come soon enough. He says, also...
I'm not wearing that. To invade enemies.
This is a
We
good
have to at least dress the part, don't we?
We're all mercenaries. Fit right in.
Yeah, but we're mercenaries looking for work, not mercenaries that they're already part of a guild.
It's my understanding that...
Did you sign your name on a paper?
You're asking us to walk
Actually,
in.
no.
Say,
Thumb press.
it's my understanding that this is a series of mercenary guilds that have gone rogue and lawless. So, Sir Leston's band is made up of other guild members anyway. So Gregor's asking us to simply just make a point, so they know where we came from during the final stroke.
I'm not one for demolishing a village.
I want
However,
the poetry though, and that's poetic.
if this is the way that we want to do it, it would seem that we should come with some sort of offering. Perhaps this could save our village and prove our right to this guild. We could go to this village, we could evacuate the peoples, and we could destroy the village ourselves. Before they do, take the belonging, go to this guild, and as an offering of our bloodthirstiness, as mercenaries they may be, we could bring the supplies and ourselves as an offering to join their guild.
Nope. I'm not on with it. I'm not on with it. They already have plans to attack this village.
How far is this village from us now?
If you really want to save the
week.
people, at best, I might be able to devise a plan. Why don't we tell everyone to evacuate, leave behind the crops and the warehouse stores so we can poison them. We will leave evidence that slavers came through and stole all of the people. At least then, perhaps the mercenaries won't question it. Slavers stole the farmers but left everything they wanted behind. If I know a bunch of mercenaries, they don't look a gift horse in the mouth. They'll look at all of those lovely food stores and take them right in, and we'll still save the people. Will that appease you, Nebula?
Man's got smarts.
Dirig,
Denier dictate.
that
Wisdom.
sounds like something a little bit more up your alley.
Provided that they do not die. Yes, I'm okay with it.
Fine.
Alright. Just remember, wisdom is knowing what to do next, but virtue is doing it. We can't go back on this. As we move forward, there is no reneging on the plan or replanning.
So
We're here
if
to
I am
stay
to
alive.
understand the plan, what we will do is we will go and make the villagers leave one way or the other, have them leave all their crops, then try to circle around their army back to the castle and join their forces.
Well, we have
And then whenever
45
the time
men
is
at our
right,
disposal. Have them
open
do
the
that part.
gates. What?
We have 45 men at our disposal, able-bodied mercenaries. They'll go do the village part. We'll go and infiltrate the castle. And I'm
We need
dying
to wait until after
you-
the.
to pull it off.
We need to wait until after their people leave to try and join, or else then they will send us on that expedition as well to prove ourselves.
That's a good point.
Because chronologically, we would be arriving to them whilst that force is already leaving. It takes us like 4 days just to get there,
Oh yeah, it does.
and they have to leave.
We're
so
good
no,
then.
we won't be a part of that force, chronologically speaking.
Just bear in mind, guys, when we do infiltrate, there'll still be. Sorry, something funny there, Mr. Gregor.
No,
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry. Did you think this was an expression of joy? No.
Clearly not.
Carry on, lad.
If we do infiltrate, there'll still be about half their force there. Alright, how are us five going to deal with all of that? Magic Lady, I reckon you could take out about
Have you,
10 of them.
have you been
On your
listening
own.
to nothing of this plan?
Maybe not. Or did I miss something?
It's alright, dearie.
I thought you said they were only half were going to the village to
Declan.
attack it.
I'm gonna leave you in charge of this matter.
I gotta go.
Ah, yes, because he's so good at being in charge of.
Nebula, I seem to recall that he's gotten you out of a bind a time or two before.
I've returned the favor and fed his belly, if you don't remember that.
Yeah, well, only one of us took a hit for it, as you mentioned earlier.
That wasn't my fault. I was just faster at dodging than you were. Aye.
Remind me not to put myself between you and a fucking ogre next time.
I was just trying to talk to him. Sorry.
Declan. Take your group. Disperse them how you wish. I'll take the men and wait for you a day's ride outside, away from the fortress. When you've accomplished your mission in the village, meet me at a certain point on a map that I don't have. And we will carry on the rest of the mission from there.
Alright.
As for
the party and the writers of a great story, y'all should be proud.
I think years from now,
Gosh.
when people look back on this day, on this moment in history, they'll remember that this was the beginning of something great. That a remnant of men stood against evil and prevailed.
Yes.
Fucking close to breaking out your inner William Wallace there.
Oh, Jesus. We may take our lives.
What I will never take.
Freedom! Anyway.
Christ.
That's fucking almost TOS for sure.
We take our lives.
This dog gets a Disney flick. No trouble.
I am so glad you are here, beautiful lady. These men are giving me
I'm just here to have a fun time.
Oh,
I'm bash a few skulls in.
That's why we're doing war crimes.
Next time on War Crimes of the Delvin Diver.
She'll kind of like half pull out her like battle axe, and she'll kind of like lift it up a little bit, and she's like, "I'm okay with cracking a few skulls if I need to," and then kind of slide it back into place.
All right.
I'm standing behind you.
Gregor, do you have anyone with animal speaking in your ranks? You have at least almost 50 men.
Are you not a ranger?
I am. I intend to use Maurice as a messenger. No one will suspect. A lonely aura.
I've had a class or two in the animal speaking department when I was a lad in school.
Taking a look of
Squeak,
college
squeaker, squeaker. Squeak, squeaker, squeak it, squeak it.
Maurice will come by from time to time.
Mm.
Let me know when to strike. In the meantime, me and this incredible band of adventurers.
And Kronk, apparently.
Not. I was out of character. You know that.
I did pull an Yzma earlier.
Kronk, thumb pricker.
The third.
Eric will just reach up and pet his hawk's head.
Oh my god.
Heck no.
So let's do it. So it sounds like we're going to the village first.
So we
And
are
that's-
going to the village. The 45 men are not doing the village thing.
No,
Correct.
it's just us.
Which is
Well,
perfect
better.
because we have just enough time left in this session for you to go to the village and do what you're going to do.
Beautiful. Is this Villageville? Are you destroying
Oh my
Villageville?
god, no.
No. I'm destroying Township.
Why did you instinctively grab your left? Never mind.
Because that's where Vari lives and has multiple warrants, and she's also a prostitute.
Oh my god.
So you're saving her life.
Escort.
Escort.
I'm not a prostitute. I'm a sex worker. Okay, there's a difference.
I prefer the term courtesan.
All right. Gregor gives you. Says, "I'm sure you've all come a long way. So the best I can do for you is offer each of you one uncommon magic item, 25 gold,
Ow!
your cloaks, and one horse each."
Nice. Very
Oh, fantastic! My horse died the other week. So
Except for
Well, I
you.
have-
Did you sign up? Did you sign up?
Are you a part of this?
I
You-
have Maurice.
You don't get a horse. You walk.
You see,
Sylphie.
Ralph is like
Sylphie, by the way.
Ralph the gnome has been writing the whole time, and when Gregor asks you if you signed up, Ralph just stops writing and looks at you and squints,
Kind of
and then he looks at Gregor.
I don't trust this. I don't trust.
I'll kind of look over and I'm like, I just kind of stumbled on in and heard some help was needed, so I signed the sheet out there, but
She's my responsibility, and I will vouch for her.
Ralph looks at Gregor again and just...
Ralph, this isn't about you, Gregor. I will vouch
Okay.
for her. And you know...
I'll take out the great sword at like the same time. And it's gonna be like, and they kind of like put it like right on the ground, like right next to her. And she'll be like, I mean, you could probably use a little muscle.
You know my
With the
word
group.
means a lot, and I vouch for this Dragon Ball.
Ralph's just like... Big.
I love Ralph. Does this magic item have to be a D&D item, or can we homebrew something? Because I know something I'd like that.
Everything uncommon is pretty much just like +1 weapons or +1, not armor, but like weapons. +1.
I just want a quarterstaff of cantrips that allows me to cast 2 cantrips on action.
Staff of double cantrip.
Is that a homebrew item?
That's one of my homebrew items.
Well, if it's one of your homebrew items, then
Do wondrous items count?
no. Those are wondrous items.
Oh, they're
These items
magical.
are just
I
magic
didn't know.
items. You're good, dude.
The staff of double cantrip allows her to cast 2 cantrips with separate targets or the same target, but regardless.
I
So-
don't think I have access to the
so-
same amount of stuff you guys
It's actually
do.
very good for an uncommon item.
So wondrous items are there are common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary as magic
Yep.
items, and then there are wondrous items that also have those same rarities.
Right.
You would be looking at just regular, uncommon magic items.
Which is
So
pretty much +1 weapon.
yeah.
You're more than welcome to say no, but there's nothing I would take as an uncommon.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's not OP or anything. So 100%.
I mean, I have.
Are we doing that right now, or is that later after the game's done, kind of thing?
I don't
Well,
think
that
I
depends
have-
on if it's something you think you'll need to secretly poison a village or not.
I'm
Character's
saying-
just here for a good time.
I'll have you add that to my character sheet later, babe. Because you know how to add that. I don't.
So
I don't think I have access to as many items as you do on D&D Beyond.
that's
They're all there for everybody.
They're all there for everybody?
yeah.
Go to
they're-
inventory.
if you're in the
manage
campaign.
inventory,
mhm.
and then just do it from there.
My item isn't a D&D item. It's a homebrew item.
Yeah,
So you're not gonna find it.
it's a yeah. Dylan thinks he's special and he makes magic items for himself.
For his girlfriend. For his
Her-
wife.
My girl wife.
his
wife.
My wife friend.
Your wife friend?
Girl-
No, I'm
girl
just your
wife?
wife.
Your
From here on
wife.
out, you will address me as your wife.
Your waifu.
Okay. No.
God,
I'm not.
yeah.
I am not a body pillow.
Anyway,
Where's
we're getting very, very off track here. So,
All right.
guild
Village.
members, official guild members of the Knights Remnant.
Oh.
the Knight's Remnant? I love
meant
it.
to give my silver dragon with golden horns ring to Serpent. Given this clandestine mission we have to do for his guild, and say, protect it with your life. That means more than anything. Silver dragon with golden horns.
He takes it, he spits on it. No, I'm just kidding.
Handed you the reins.
Whoa! Roll for initiative right now, Gregor.
You want to fucking go? No, I'm just kidding. And that's how 2 guild houses went to war.
Oh, that should be a fun little family one-shot. Valis Corpus versus Dungeon Divers.
Oh man, that'd be insane. Holy fuck. Anyway,
Sorry. Continue.
give him the ring before we go on our mission. Let's do it.
He takes the ring and he puts it in a small pouch by itself, and then wraps it up in a small piece of cloth and puts it inside the folds of his armor.
I craft this magical staff using the dragon scale that's been given to me.
That's cool.
And once I finally make this item wherever we are on our way, I'll turn to Sylvina and I say, your gift will always be with me. And I highly thank you for such a wonderful thing to be given to someone like me.
And then the DM breaks your staff. No, I'm just kidding. So, you can all. It depends on what you would like to do. You can rest here for the evening. You will not be charged for a room. Sir Gregor is taking care of your accommodation.
Cool.
You can leave first thing in the morning. It is a 4.5 day trip to the village, roughly 5 days, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Rest and go, I say.
Yeah.
So in the
Fucking
meantime,
In the morning.
well, if we would have gotten here sooner, I would have said we could have enjoyed. Well, you know what? It won't take an hour to poison a village. In the meantime, the party.
Dance off.
No. Never. Not even one time. No.
No musical episode?
No musical episodes. The party can interact with each other freely for just a few minutes in this tavern. We'll give you guys just a few minutes to interact and have a relaxing what's left of the evening. While I see if I can find some tavern-y style music on Roll20, because Roll20
I have no idea what item I was meant to take.
Just pick something.
Yeah, pick whatever you want.
For
You can pick whatever you
uncommon,
want.
Extremely strict list. It's pretty much just gonna be a +1 weapon. Anything other than a +1 weapon is literally a +1 weapon with extra flavor text. There's like hellfire blades, so when you kill people, they go to hell. But like, it's still just a +1 weapon. Ultimately, it doesn't affect you. So like, really.
So to add items, you just go to manage inventory, and then add items, and then just find something that's uncommon in magic.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think
I like it.
The easiest way to do it, since he said just uncommon and not wondrous, I can't stress it enough to just type in the weapon that you like the most, and then just get the +1 version of it. Because other than that, there's really not a lot of uncommon magical items. Very nice music.
I love it.
Alright, I've already added my item. I'm good.
There's one of the local soldiers also appears to be doubling as a performer, and he's playing a tune with a couple others, just hanging out. Everybody's drinking, telling war stories, and playing dice games, and doing arm wrestling contests, stuff like that. So Gregor kind of gives you your items and then ushers you out of his room. So,
I think I know what I want.
take Ralph with you. If you need anything, just ask him, and he'll see to it that you have it. Ralph looks at all of you, just
Ralph.
he looks at you, and he just takes out his book, and he tries to find an empty page.
You're a fucking little shite, Ralph. It really does sound Scottish. I hate that he pointed that out because I heard a couple of words that sounded very Scottish.
So, as the magic item, could I take the? Could I just take an adamantine breastplate?
Uncommon?
Is that uncommon?
Yeah.
Mithril is, I know.
Yeah.
Dead ass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
adamantine
Yeah,
armor
it is.
uncommon.
What does that do? Is that
Negates
just...
critical hits.
It does.
You might want
Damn.
to consider. Wait, no, a breastplate doesn't impose disadvantage, anyways.
No, it's medium. It's medium armor.
Does that mean I can get adamantine plate?
Yeah, I think that's uncommon too.
All right, I
Yeah,
have my
it is.
dragon
Like,
scale.
we
down.
cannot pick a wondrous item. It has to be a weapon or armor.
No, it's
'Cause
in the
everything
armor
else is a
thing.
wondrous item.
As long as it's uncommon, is what he said.
Adamantine
Not wondrous.
ring mail, adamantine plate.
wondrous
Is that what
isn't-
you were after?
Okay.
Is it a wondrous item though?
It
Oh.
doesn't say wondrous.
Then-
it just
then
says
you go for
uncommon.
it.
It's a generic variant.
Yeah, fuck
Yep.
the battle axe.
I don't want
Kyle,
to take
can I have
the.
a blood spear, but make it a short sword?
You can have a blood spear. No, sure. Go ahead. Go for it.
You see.
I mean, I want it to be a spear still, but I can't Spears are still underpowered in 5th edition.
Oh man, that's a bummer. We can't homebrew it if that's what you're asking me. You can have the blood spear. I can't. I'm not.
So I can't have a blood spear that's a short sword.
No, we've already homebrewed you a weapon once.
It's not even homebrew. It's just a short sword that's called a spear. It's just a short sword that's called a spear.
Kyle, I remember you heavily advised against wearing armor that lowers your movement speed.
Right, like plate.
So just don't do plate then?
That's up to you. That's your. I don't recommend it, but it's your
What's
whatever
your
you
strength score?
would like to have. Actually, that makes a difference too. You have to like have a minimum strength score of like 15, right? For plate.
No, it's medium armor. It's low if there is one. I
No,
don't
plate
think
is
you
heavy
have
armor.
Plate you have to have 15.
I'm just gonna get breastplate,
Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
or potentially half plate actually, but that's quite a bit heavier.
That should be fine.
I don't want to carry 140 pounds of stuff. I want to leave my scale mail behind.
140 pounds of stuff is nothing.
Oh, is that fine?
It's
Is
nothing.
that fine? Is it?
It's nothing.
That's like a small human.
My starting equipment was like 120 something pounds.
Disagree. Have you been rucking? Rucking's a big...
There are no encumbrance. So as everybody's picking their items, you see
Rucking doesn't have shit against wildland fire.
you see Nebulara kind of forcing Sylphie to like watch her create this staff. And she's sitting there with all her books open, and you see like
Ralph is taking notes, just like
look, see. So if you do this and you engrave this into the staff and you plant this in here, now watch. And she like pulls out her books and she's like muttering an incantation. She sits there and the staff glows for a second, and like the dragon scale like melds into the wood. And then it falls to the ground, and she goes, okay, look, now watch this. And she takes her staff, and then she goes, wait. Last time I did this, I burned down a tavern. Okay, you will have to trust me that this staff...
the music
will
stops for
never
just
harm
a
me.
second. Yeah, like the last time I did this, I burned down a tavern, and the music just stops.
Everyone, wide-eyed.
Okay, I can do this thing. No, it's fine. Everybody watch. Okay, so I slam my staff into the ground and cast Control Flames, and 2 flames just hover above me. And I'm like, see? Look, now there's 2, not 1. It's double.
The music
Same
slowly
smell.
starts to resume.
How incredible is that? Some people
That's really
call
cool.
Oops.
it science. I'm not sure, but I did it. All because of you. Oh, darling, you are a blessing to this part.
I've never seen anyone do something like that, which is something so simple as a scale. That's impressive.
All right.
Oh, thank you. I've been researching a lot. You should see my library. It's full of books everywhere. It's the most wonderful thing. I realize I've just made Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I love books so much. They tell you everything there is to know.
Wait, am I the beast?
No, definitely.
Makes sense.
Kyle, if it's alright,
I agree.
Kyle,
Yeah.
if
up?
it's okay, I would like to just add the weapon of warning text to my short sword that is called a spear.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I took adamantine half plate.
Cool.
I took a mariner's plate.
Woo!
That's a good one. I like Matt.
All right.
What did you choose, Sylvie?
I found a ring in the mix that makes it a little easier to see if people are lying to me.
Ooh.
You did?
have-
Where's that?
I did have been known to be a little gullible, Declan says. So.
Right.
I don't entirely like when people are lying and taking advantage of others.
9:13.
Like-
Perfect. So we have
what was
time for one tavern game before you all go to bed.
A tavern game!
What game would you like to do? Arm wrestling? Would you like to gamble? Would you like
I
to
can always
have?
arm wrestle.
Would you like to have a drinking contest?
I could do that too.
Those are your choices.
Huh?
I am known
Hold
to
up.
down a fine stout of ale.
Those are all terrible. Those are all terrible for me because of my stats. What about
makes it
chess?
better.
Can we play chess?
I do have a really
No, we
Can
can't.
do an arm wrestling
I'm
match.
sorry. No one in this
Arm
tavern is
wrestling?
playing chess.
God damn it.
One of the, you walk up
the
to
drinking contest. Man.
you walk up to a small group of men. And you say, "Would you like to play chess?" And they're all like, "Get out!"
Can I do like a persuasion check on them or something?
Do you have
Just
a
like-
chessboard on you?
Make a-
Just
make a-
how do you play
hold-
this game?
Just
Make
like
a-
shaking, holding
You know
a
what?
chest. No, I don't
Make-
actually want to do it.
I
Fuck,
mean,
that'd be awesome.
okay. I mean, if you'd like to try and persuade them to play chess, it will be with advantage because they've all been drinking heavily.
Oh my god, for the love of everything, please.
Alright, fine. I want to persuade them to play chess, and I want to persuade them to play for money as well. Like,
To play
like
chess
this
for
should-
money.
It's a
just like a
45-minute
gold-
game.
a
Yes,
gold
I want
piece.
2 gold.
a 1 gold piece, winner takes all, that kind of thing.
All right. Give me a persuasion roll with advantage.
Let's see this fail.
Let's see.
With advantage.
16.
Better.
Give me just a moment.
I hope it's a wisdom saving throw that I have to make.
Oh. Well,
I don't know how it would work actually. Yeah.
I have news for you.
What?
You will amass a total of 4 gold from each of them.
Jesus Christ! Why?
Well, I mean that you
They don't know how to play chess.
you persuaded them all to play chess, and they're drunk and they don't know how to play. So
So
Okay,
basically, they
can
don't have disadvantage, and you have advantage.
So add 4 gold then.
indeed. Who mentioned a drinking contest? Was that you? Okay.
Was it drinking or strength? Or strength anything, I don't care.
Okay.
Can I take
I'll
part
do
in
arm
both
wrestling.
the chess and the drinking contest?
We'll do one at a time. Let's
yeah.
let's start with Nebulara.
Hey.
You will be up against this Goliath gentleman. He's
Hello, good sir.
Jesus.
He like points at his drink.
Hey.
Hey.
You and me.
He takes out a bag full of gold and sets it on the table.
Boy.
Oh my god.
What?
Could you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Absolutely, I can. I have a +6.
Fantastic.
How did she roll?
That
21. Nice.
that does do better than a 16.
Ooh.
One more.
He
What's gold?
Gold.
No, drink again.
Ugh. Sorry, a little bit of a mess there.
Oh my god. Well, I think a 20 beats a 2. He falls
Only
unconscious on the floor.
Oh dear. Are you all right?
Should I do something about that?
No,
Oh,
he's,
no,
he's fine.
Is,
Alright.
excuse me, sir. Was this? Okay, I'm just going to take this. Thank you very much. You have a
There's about 15 gold in there.
oh, wonderful.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Anyone else doing anything?
I'll arm wrestle.
And you want to arm wrestle? Okay.
We don't want to arm wrestle.
Give me a strength check.
Both of us?
Are you arm wrestling each other?
Are we?
Do you wanna?
Sure.
How much gold are you gonna wager?
Yeah.
I'll wager 2 gold.
I'll wager 2.
Raise the
I'm
ante.
I'm fine with 2.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
Jeez. You sit down. You lost by
That's
more
so
than you lost by
good.
more than 5. You sit down at the
That's
table.
okay. That's fantastic.
And you put you both sit down at the table, and for an average sized gentleman, he's exceptionally strong, and he just takes your arm, and with a resounding thud, as soon as the gentleman officiating says go, slams your arm,
Instantly.
pins it on the table, and just swipes your gold, grabs it.
I thought I couldn't give you a chance to warm up.
That's fine. That's impressive. That's
Is
fantastic.
drunk,
You got a
the
double
drunk,
or nothing?
he said, drunk soldier in the corner. You're right. Thought she was gonna beat you.
I'm sorry, would you like to try your luck against her?
You know what? I think I would.
About to hustle this dude. This is brilliant.
Alright. I'll bet 10 gold that she wins.
I double his wager on
You
her.
know what? I bet 10 gold that you're cockless. I don't know.
I'll take that bet.
I'm not betting on this. I'm still
Alright,
playing chess in the background.
You hear like the group,
He's smart.
the group from various areas of the room. You just hear, "Oh, come on! This is a fucking pointless game. There's no fucking meaning to it."
This is a game of games.
Stupid fucking
I
game.
I just sheepishly pick up my chessboard and just start putting the things away and just go sit down and start drinking alone, watching
Alright,
watching the arm wrestle.
Sophina, the drunk gentleman would like to arm wrestle you.
All right. I'm fine. Ooh, nat 1. I'm not having a good night.
He beats you with a 10. Wow, the
She's
burps,
been out in the
burps are
woods
real
for
in
like
here
a-
today.
She's been out in the woods for a week and just like
He too.
she
He does.
hasn't like eaten decent food in forever. She's fucking weak.
He's like, he kind of struggles in the beginning a little bit. He's like, oh, oh.
Can I
Double
give
or nothing
her,
against me.
Can I give her advantage by knocking his chair with my foot as I walk by?
That'd be cheating, and there are officiates watching.
Sleight of hand check.
Yeah, so I'll let you have a sleight of hand roll.
Oh, perfect. I have a plus nothing. 16.
Hey,
Oh, that's pretty good.
Let me hang on.
Ooh. She gets to re-roll, maybe? Oh,
You can re-roll with advantage.
okay.
2 rolls.
Alright, one more roll.
Do I get 1 more roll or do I get 2 more
Just
rolls?
keep her like, oh, I'm so
One more roll.
sorry.
Not any better.
Oh.
It's funny. It's my plus 5, but it's all good. When he wins, she'll kind of be like, she'll kind of like when he obviously like wins, she'll kind of be like, great job. I knew you could do it. A wink in like a condescending, like she'd let him win kind of way.
It's just you never forget me, lass.
Declan, do you want to take part in these games? We're having quite the time over here.
Let's do double or nothing.
This will be the Declan. If you choose to participate, it'll be the last game of the evening.
Arm wrestling it is. I'm more of a poet, really, but I could try my hand at it, I suppose.
Is it strength or athletics? Because I rolled the wrong thing. If it's
It
athletics or if it's strength.
it was
I think it's
strength.
your strength.
I still would have won, but I thought it was athletics. That's my bad.
Okay. Gonna give it a go, Declan.
20 gold. Let's go. Who's against me?
20 gold.
20 gold.
Room.
I mean, he just won 20 from us.
He looks around. The one of
Win it from
the
me.
a couple of the guys look around. They whisper to each other, and they nod. Eh! Go get Brutus! You hear the thudding of heavy feet coming across the floor. As you turn to see who's entered, there's a large humanoid figure that's nothing but rippling muscles and hair. When you reach the face, you realize that it is, in fact, a minotaur.
Shite.
Oh,
Well, this is certainly one for the books,
I hope
isn't
this
it?
Minotaur has.
I just start laughing uncontrollably.
Declan, don't have
He looks around and he says, he looks at you and he sets his gold on the table and he goes,
Do you want the cherries?
No. Not today.
he looks at you. I heard there was somebody that
That's voice number 2! That's voice number 2!
that somebody needed to have their ass kicked in arm wrestling.
20 gold. Say. You're a weak pansy bitch.
Oh, Declan!
Dude's been on steroids since he was 9. You don't want this.
I will take your gold and your honor.
I can't. My face hurts. Oh,
That has some connotations that I am not comfortable with.
she's trying
Sophie's
to
definitely
take
laughing in the corner.
I just would like you all to know this is definitely a male minotaur.
Oh, even better.
How hard I'm.
Yeah, I think
my
we got that.
All right.
All I heard was Dylan is now hard.
Just at some point, Nylanth makes eye contact as he's pissing himself laughing, and then just go. Oh.
Shoot me right the fuck down, but I'm gonna just propose that I hunter's mark this guy to get a D6 on my on my engagement with him.
Can I bless him?
No, you cannot.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
This is going
Aw.
to be a shears test of strength.
I can't breathe.
All right.
Alright,
Go
I'm
ahead.
spending the roll, ladies and gentlemen.
Is there any?
Can I
Well,
make a sleight of hand to give
Before-
him advantage?
No! I flashed the Minotaur!
oh, hang on.
Fuck, we are not doing good, bud. We're.
Oh, he already
Declan.
rolled.
Declan. So you
He's gonna
are
need healing.
gridlocked, and neither of you are gaining any momentum.
What?
And he
Oh
looks,
my God,
he's staring into your eyes. And he gives way. And you slam his arm to the table. And he lets out a yeah!
With
He does have a higher modifier. That's it. That's all he did. He had a higher modifier. Both were nat ones. Oh, fuck.
Dead.
Oh,
I
fuck,
bet,
man.
I bet
That's
you
good.
he had a negative.
Good
I bet you he had a negative somehow, and it
I
was
wrote.
like
I had
negative
a.
0.
I had a total of 3, and I rolled a negative one. Or I rolled a natural 1.
Oh my.
And I was at I was at disadvantage because I had been drinking heavily.
Oh my god!
Oh fucking hell.
Fuck that Minotaur! Sir, I appreciate your competitive spirit, but fuck you! Yeah!
I was so
Clearly,
gutted I couldn't-
you are the better man.
Why do you sound like Fluffy?
Hey, guys, let's go to bed.
Oh my god, I just doubled my gold by sheer dumb luck.
That fucking voice.
I will take all your gold. Didn't take any of it.
What about his honor?
Oh my god, that was sheer fucking destiny.
All right, you
To
go.
win without bliss
You
is
have-
to triumph without glory.
You take your winnings, and you all feel much better about yourselves. You sleep well. In the morning, we'll turn off this.
That was
music.
amazing. That was amazing.
I can't believe I just doubled my gold.
I can't get over that voice.
I was, yeah.
Guess what, guys? It's raining again. In the morning, you step outside the tavern. Your horses, provisions, and equipment have been readied, and the horses are tied to posts outside the tavern.
So when she sees the horses and she watches Declan get on the horse, she goes, huh, that's strange, Declan. I always thought you were an ass man.
Hey, lassie, nay. Me and Maurice go a long way back. When he was a wee calf, when I first met him. We were
I'd just like to point out that I'm laughing in character as well.
Make your jokes. But this
Eric doesn't get the joke.
Nebulara.
She sees like everyone else
in a
laughing and she
wild
goes,
world.
Tyr, that was funny. You're supposed to laugh.
Nebulara.
What does he voice?
Out of
This is a horse, and
Yes.
I'm used to him riding a mule, right? And a mule
Right.
or a donkey is
They
sometimes
seem to be
called,
similar enough creatures to me.
right, but a
I
donkey is
just-
sometimes called an ass. So I was making a joke because he likes to watch my ass when I walk away.
Is
I
it
just-
funnier when you have to explain it like this?
I feel like.
Quite funny.
Oh my god.
Well, as long as you think it is, I suppose that's a good thing.
Will you laugh for me?
Ah,
Thank you. That's wonderful.
I want to use the
You're
command
welcome.
spell and just tell him to laugh.
oh,
Oh,
what
damn
fuck
it.
fame
that.
is that?
There we go. That's great.
What save is that? Because I'm.
Oh my
making
god, I
it.
love him! What the hell? That's amazing! You are Paul Bunyan!
That
What the hell?
is companion. That is Maurice the Auroch.
You're the fantasy.
Ah, Morris, calm down.
I've been waiting so long to make that joke.
Command is a wisdom saving throw.
Nebulara.
Yes, my dear.
Out of all the creatures that are here to ride, there is one white horse.
Do not laugh, I don't think.
And I want it.
No, you don't.
If he takes a step towards it, I'll take a step in front of him, so you can take it first.
I just.
Thank you, darling. And she like floats herself onto the horse and just lays back.
I just want to say something out of character. So I would definitely abuse the command spell if I knew it in real life. Just
Oh, you have just redeemed yourself heavily, Kyle.
He's a romantic at heart.
He stole my horse!
All right.
I'm not taking the horse.
I'm looking for the biggest
You
horse
can-
there is.
There is a war horse, just one.
I'll take that one
Okay.
because I'm a little beefier.
That's fitting.
Yeah.
So you can depart on your journey as soon as Nebulara returns, or we can depart without her. That's okay.
She's going to powder her nose.
Could Declan? Could you roll me percentiles?
Okay. What do you need?
Just roll D100. Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, I'm ordering pizza in the chat.
Have I sent you the link to my 1,300 whatever road encounters? I really need to send you. I know that's totally
Jesus.
off topic.
Squeaky minotaurs. Right. Well,
I'm gonna send it to you now because I've needed to do this for a long time. I don't know if it'll work, but anyways, go ahead.
Declan, you know that it will take you, because of this weather, it's going to take you the 5 days. There's no sign of the rain letting up anytime soon. What you also can discern is that we'll say. Would you roll 44?
Yeah.
Let me look at my. This episode brought to you by the random notebook of shit at Kyle's house that has random encounters in it that he made up on his own.
.com.
Indeed.
Is that your OnlyFans?
Guys,
Um,
gotta stop making me corpse, alright? I feel really unprofessional.
All right, here we go. You travel for 4 of the 5 days, and it is uneventful. It rains every day. And on the 4th morning, you awaken. Declan, you step outside your tent. You were each given a tent. Step outside your tent, stretch, look around. There are 2 goblin children
God,
standing near the center of your camp,
Speak Goblin, believe it or not.
I speak Goblin.
and they're tying up Ralph.
Good, leave him there.
I'm not. I ain't gonna stop it.
Oh, I don't speak Goblin.
Like-
I speak Sylvan.
They are like the classic Hitchcock bound like all the way, just tying him up, and they're putting him on a stick and putting him over your campfire.
I've never known before.
I don't know this guy. I don't really care
Everyone
now.
else is asleep. Everyone else is asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's a combat going on that would have happened here, it would have woken everyone up. 'cause
There's
I
not
have
a
weapon of war. now.
There's not a combat happening.
Okay.
Not yet. Not unless Declan decides to kill goblin children.
Alright. In Goblinoid, I will come out and say, "Wee ones, what are you doing?"
They look at you.
We caught him snooping through your stuff!
Did you?
Yeah.
Ralph? I know you can't write right now, but nod or shake your head. Were you snooping through my shite?
He's like, his mouth is, he's bound, he's like gagged.
I thought he was deaf.
He is, but they don't know that.
Oh, right.
They gagged him so he wouldn't yell. Like,
Yeah. You want us to cook him?
That is a right thing to offer, little ones. I would very much honestly love you to cook him, but
Ralph is like,
Ralph is by all means a part of my guild. So long as you are a part of my guild, you are my brother. You have my brother upon fire right now. That is a problem.
Ah. Do you want to pay us for saving you?
Listen, children. Listen. Please, hold on.
they like,
I take Ralph off the fire and I hold him in front of the goblin. And I look at them. Little ones, there is something to be learned from this moment. I don't know if you know about the god Denir, right? Who is the god of writing and the god of wisdom. And I quite abruptly drop Ralph on the fucking floor. And look to the little one and say, "Listen, good. There is a great lesson to be learned. Pilfering through one's belongings is a gravest wrong, but so long as you are part of a brotherhood, you are protected." Silent.
Why are you jerks?
I had to. I felt it coming and I had to get it out.
Damn me.
Goblins travel in packs. It's in your nature. Where are your parents?
They left us out here?
My friends,
Oh,
must be
About
sad.
to get a couple of orphans, boys.
my bullshit
just-
meter's going off.
Is it just him who's talking to these goblins?
Yeah. Currently.
Is there a chance any of us wake up by hearing this?
If you'd like to...
I have a passive perception of 24. I'd like to wake up.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You can make a perception check at disadvantage. I'll allow that.
9 or yeah, 9.
Christ.
Jesus, Terry.
Would you like the
Have
28
expertise
or
in
the
the
28?
Jesus Christ.
Tyrig, you can wait. You wake up and you hear this interaction.
It's like
He's just watching.
Yeah, just
That's
this
just-
weird goblin.
He doesn't even
talk.
get out of bed. He's just watching.
Just, like peek out the tent flap.
Yeah.
Look, we just figured
The other one starts talking.
we just figured we saved you. You know, 'cause there's a random gnome snooping through your stuff, and we're hungry and we're broke, and our parents neglected us and they left us out here for dead.
Take my hand, little one. Take it.
Like
Go ahead.
sticks his little 4-fingered hand out.
I promise you one thing.
Just throw him against a wall or something.
Doing the right thing won't always get you the right answer. I could just as quickly kill you as let you live. But you made the right decision at the right moment. I'll tell you one thing. Use what talents you possess. I imagine you two little ones, great destiny before you. And there is a guild a few days back that might be hidden. Do you want a new family for one?
They like look at each other.
Do they have shinies?
You have to earn it. But yes, more shinies than you can.
Which way is it?
Do back where the fuck we can.
Dude.
And listen, I pull out 2 gold pieces since apparently I have quite a few to spare after my engagements the night prior. And 1 into each of their hands. There's more where that came from.
You see that? The knight gave us a shiny.
Remember, having a brotherhood, you'll last a lot longer in this life and earn a lot more shinies. Seek out Sir Gregor. Tell them Declan Boyle sent you. And if they don't know the name, tell them Valus Scorpus. Remember it.
PP horses. Got it.
Close enough, little one.
Soldiers.
Nailed it.
Giant soldiers. Going to join the new
how
guild
does-
and fight for coin.
Dylan, where do you keep coming up with all this profound shit that you keep saying?
He has a list next to him.
He has a list. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
The 2 goblin children take off back down the road where you had previously come from. You can start your journey. You all can wake up.
I looked at Rel since it's the middle of the night, it's pissing rain, and he was just over a fire, and I go, enjoy the rain, you little shite. Stay out of my sheets. and I go to my camp. I go back to my tent to sleep the rest of the night and leave him tied up on that pole in the rain.
Oh, good.
Eric will go back to sleep, leaving Ralph as well.
Ralph.
He's gonna die of hypothermia,
Here's
guys.
Ralph
Do a
never
fire.
Now
It'll be
here's
fine.
the interesting thing. Ralph's pack is on the ground beside the campfire. Would you like to
I
go
have no
through
reason
Ralph's
to.
pack?
go through his shite.
I grab Ralph's back.
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat.
I look at him dead in his little eyes as he's sitting there. I'm scorched. Do you want me to...
he's just like fucking bound, and he just
You just make unending eye contact as you pull each item out, just slowly.
I open up the pack. You don't like this, do you, though? Digging through. No. No.
Is he gonna Hulk out?
I pull out one item. What is... just at random. Just like...
it is a small silver inlaid hand mirror. And inscribed on the back are the words "Forever and Always" in Rock Gnomish. Yeah. Like, so if you can't read Gnomish, then it's
That seems very personal.
like looking at
You are.
he's like
You are.
violently shaking at this point. Just
It looks like there's a good story attached to this little realm.
Is he gonna Hulk
What a
out? or something?
fuck.
I'll tell you what. I'll move up to him. In case there's any prying ears in the nearby vicinity, and I'll whisper to Ralph's little ear. I'm not gonna ask you a damn thing about this mirror. I'll put it back in your pack. As long as we have an understanding. Stay out of my shit, I'll stay out of yours. You protect me, I protect you. You got me, Ralph?
He's dead.
You can read lips.
Okay.
Is he?
I put it back in the pack.
But on the other hand, I can too.
I put it right next to him and draw out my battle axe and just like chop the ropes free. Say, figure yourself out, you little shite. I'm going to sleep. And I leave.
I just want you to wake
he
up.
lands right in a mud puddle next to the fire. Just full on splat right in the.
You guys are so mean to Ralph.
He deserves.
You guys. So morning comes around. You wake up. Embark on your last day of journey, or of journey. I can talk.
I
On
can.
your last day of travel, before you reach the township. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a township. And as you do, as you crest a hill, and look down into a valley, you see the town. And the first thing that you all notice is that every building is smoking.
Oh shit, we're late.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's too far.
All right,
You're
look,
too
that's
far.
on me
It's
then.
too far away to tell what's happened.
Can I take a look to see
Can we
what's
go
happening?
check?
You
Can I like support him?
You guys can go investigate the town.
Okay.
Can I take like a perception check to see from afar, maybe if there's anything of danger to us?
Anything moving?
Yeah, just to see if
I'll
there's
take
any
a. I'll take a.
survivors.
I'll take perception rolls.
I don't have very good perception.
Oh, I don't have great perception.
Is that a 26?
I have a +9 to perception.
Right.
I have expertise in it.
Expertise.
Wow.
We
So
all rolled shit.
so just Tirig. Um,
I bet your athletics sucks.
+5.
Tariq, as you look hard and look down into the valley where the town is, you notice, you think you see a few people moving about. Not able to discern male, female, faction, guild member, bandit, citizen. But there are definitely people alive and moving around.
There are survivors, but I don't know where they're from.
If there are survivors, then we need to go now. And without a second thought, she whips the reins. You see magic flare above her. She casts mage armor and she sends her forward.
I'm just like, hold your horses there, love.
Oh no, the horse is.
All right. Which I didn't mean it
Hold your
literally.
horses there, love. Mud
for
hit you in the
Christ's
face.
I think someone should follow her. I'll kind of head in behind her. Because at this point it's too late. She's already gone.
Like staffs out and she's just riding.
Eric is going to dismount his horse because he's actually faster off of it than on it. He's going to
Christ,
double
what the fuck
action.
are you?
I'm a shifter, but I can action the dash and then bonus action to also dash.
A horse has a base movement speed of 60 feet. Are you sure you're
I thought I
faster?
had 40.
60.
60.
Oh, never mind that. I'm not faster.
What?
How are you faster than a horse?
I'm actually exactly the same speed as a horse.
A horse can move 120 feet at full speed.
Yeah.
Right?
I would dash to get up to 60, dash again to get up to 120.
All right, so you guys just gonna go in?
I'm
Alright.
going guns blazing.
All right.
I'm not letting the mage just run in after by herself.
Eric is
Oh,
trailing behind.
behind
Once they
her.
get a little bit closer, he'll try and
That's
hide and make his way into the village.
Okay.
Declan will stay put on Maurice on this hill that we're watching the village from, and I will watch
Okay.
for anything else that's coming in or out of the town.
For those of you that go into the town, what you find are, first of all, definitely citizens of the town. You can tell that right away. And they look weary.
Is this still pissing rain?
Yes. There are, however, corpses in the streets as well.
Oh.
There's a mother holding her two small children. A few what look like were town guards lay face down in the mud. Blood kind of fills the pockets of where the rain has driven divots into the clay street. And those that are walking around are very cautious and weary of you. Just then, 4 men wielding pitchforks come running around the corner, kind of. What do you want?
It's fine. It's fine. We saw the smoke.
Am I hidden at this
People
point?
might be in
Or do I
danger.
need to roll stealth?
No, just yeah. You can just roll a stealth. Sorry. Go ahead, Nebulara.
We're not here to harm you. We saw the smoke and we thought you might need help. She gets off the horse to look less intimidating, despite the fact that she's a genasi in the middle of you.
Kind of lower their guard a little bit, but they still hold the pitchforks defensively. Where were you? 4 hours ago when they came through.
We've been traveling this way the entire time. We were actually hoping to come here before they did. I'm sorry we're late.
Fucking bandits, they steal everything. They come here, they take they kill some of our women and children, our guards. They take our ale, nothing else, and they leave.
They take your ale and nothing else, and leave you alive.
Our gold, what little we have. They don't want our food. For whatever
They
reason.
didn't take your food? Wow.
No. They're not interested in our food. They said
Did you get any inkling of what they might...
They said our food's shite. I guess it's better than those guilds that have been roaming around killing everyone.
So this was just random bandits. Did they have any insignia at all?
No, they were using rusty swords and wearing terrible armor. It's didn't even look like armor, really.
Sounds like they were just regular folk, not even bandits. Just
maybe Lark, can you give me an insight roll?
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a burnt coil.
Ooh.
Ooh. Spicy.
11.
That is, in fact, more than 10. You can tell from the way he's describing things to you that these were definitely not even... They weren't guild members or mercenaries or anything. They were, from the sounds of it, they were just other townspeople that robbed this town.
called it.
Just some generic bandits that came in at the wrong time. At the right time, but also the wrong time.
I guess that's good news and bad news. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about what they've done to your town. But unfortunately, we
alright.
have heard that something worse is coming.
Throws his pitchfork in the ground. Are you kidding me? What could be worse than bandits stealing all your ale?
Something
Bandits killing all of you?
bringing more and stealing the rest. We've come to try and
Hey, that's a damper.
stop.
We're here with a plan. All right. We need to evacuate all of you villagers. And while we do that, we're gonna essentially poison the remaining food stock. So
You're gonna do what?
You didn't.
The bandits are after the guild. Sorry, the guild members, the rogue guild members, are after supplies and food. All right, that's what they're doing when they're robbing the towns. So they'll come here, they'll steal your food and your supplies, what little you've got left, and they're going to take it for themselves. If we poison it, they'll bring it back. They won't know. It'll affect them. We'll be able to weaken them and attack them much more successfully.
And we can get your people to safety. What's left of you.
Okay. Well, then I suppose
So,
there's
we
not a
don't
moment to
have any
waste, is
poison,
there?
Do we?
What?
We don't have any poison, do we?
I'm a cleric. I can poison shit.
Oh, okay.
I have an alchemist.
Right.
proficiency
Right.
in
Well, I suppose
I'm a ranger.
let me gather the townsfolk and we'll go. Just do whatever you have to do. They just take off running to get the other townsfolk. Declan, so you're sitting on the hill alone
With Ralph.
with Ralph. He's just like sitting in front of you on your steed, facing you. He's like sitting backwards on it. In front of you.
And down into
Yeah, he's just squinting at you.
That's okay.
Can you make me a perception check?
Pray for good rolls, boys!
You said that in character, like you're aware of.
Metagaming.
Good rolls, boys. We can do it.
Shite.
What were you attempting to do there?
You know what? What do
I'm
you
good
mean?
at so many things, but perception.
I'll give you one more. Let you have advantage on this.
Alright, I took the
Oh God, be better.
search.
Natural 20!
Hey!
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's
First
awesome.
nat 20 of the game.
You rub some water out of
Debatably,
your eyes.
debatably the most important natural 20 of the game.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
For as you're sitting here having a staring contest with Ralph, to the south of you, you hear the marching of feet. And it's... You have to listen very closely for a moment because you think it's just thunder. But then you notice that it's a more concurrent and constant rhythm. And Ralph, like, looks around, like... he slaps you. It's like,
What? Footsteps of men? Well, that was my guess. Well then, shit! Fuck. I get off the Maurice, my Auroch. I whisper into his ear. I don't know if anyone in this party can speak with animals. I kinda doubt it.
I don't have that spell prepared.
Put a little
Definitely can't.
note on his collar.
Put a note on his collar. Alright.
Ask the deaf friend you have.
That's true. We do have we have little Nan.
Who heard?
His name again? I can't
What's
remember.
that?
Ralph. Ralph?
Bill?
I'm sending you and Maurice to warn them. I'm going to distract the enemy forces. Do you understand? I know heroes don't save lives, but god damn it, sometimes heroism is important. Should I smack on fucking Maurice?
Ralph is just like hanging on with everything he's got.
And I'm taking off towards the south.
So you just take off on foot, running towards the south. A short time later, Maurice and Ralph arrive in the street of the town. Ralph he jumps off of Maurice and he comes running up to Nylanth. And with everything he has in him, he jumps and he reaches up and slaps you across the face. And then he hops down and viciously...
The fuck is wrong with you?
Furiously writing.
Yeah, he's furiously writing. He
Could you
breaks
see
out
that?
his parchment
Telepathic.
and his pen and he goes,
Fuck.
"Fuck bad."
Can I use detect thoughts to see what the fuck he's on about?
Yeah. So you hear this voice, this telepathic voice. It goes,
Oh god. Morgan Freeman, go.
Morgan Freeman.
Declan is taken off he went somewhere off to the south to go do something with feet. It didn't seem like it was good, and he sent me down here running on his weird beast thing. So I tell you what, I think what you ought to do is get the fuck out of this town so that we can all go anywhere else but here. Seems like a god-awful place. I'm tired of getting rained on. I was tied up for a long time last night. The fucking Declan went through my shit. I've had it with these goblin children. I just want to get the fuck out of here.
I love that it's
Slow down. There is so much to unpack from that, but what I'm guessing is we're in immediate danger. Alright. The little shite, no, Ralph, that's his name. He told us we're in danger, alright? Thingy's gone to go... Thingy's gone to go do something with feet, whatever that means. And,
Listen, Declan's into weird things. We shouldn't really worry about it.
No, listen.
Look at the
listen.
note, all right?
There's something.
The note.
It is fucking bad, okay, lady?
He literally said, fuck bad. Alright? I don't know what that means in your culture, but to me, he's in a bit of fucking trouble, alright? So pull your head out of it and fucking come on.
Alright, let's go then! To the south, right?
I say that in character.
Use your words.
It's your technically you're here on a mission. You're here to poison the food supply. I will remind the party of that.
He has gone to
Declan has gone to
Is my character able to surmise what Declan's doing?
Declan is definitely creating a diversion just to buy you time to slow down whatever the troops are that are coming.
Alright. How long will it take us to poison as much of this food as we can without the enemy at least cottoning on to what we're doing?
It's gonna take you.
You have to go to the silo or a storage place wherever they keep it.
They have a building that they use for their stores. It will take you about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Can Declan hold them off for 20 minutes?
It's gonna be very, very close.
We can.
How many of us does it need? How many of us need to be present to do the poisoning?
How many of you have poison
Just you.
stuff to poison?
I would have thought that Sir Gregor would have like supplied us with some poison, or at least something. He did say that all our stuff was prepared for us.
Yeah. He did send us on a mission to poison the food supply.
It would have been slightly awkward if one of us just like, so we got there
Okay,
and we didn't have any poison.
You have 6 vials of poison.
6 vials of poison.
That is enough to do the job for the amount of food that there is.
Do we
Okay,
need
well,
all 3 of us to do it?
You want me to do it.
If
I can do
there's
it,
help,
I can get out of town.
it'll take less time.
can we just get the villagers to help us?
They're leaving.
Okay, they're gone. Who's the fastest then?
Me, probably.
You said, oh yeah, you said you were the
I can go
fastest.
40.
I mean, she has a faster base movement speed than me, but dashing she can move 80. I can double dash so I can move 120.
But we
Could-
have horses, and I have the ability to do massive AoE damage. So it makes sense for me to go and help Declan.
I agree. I think either. I'm trying. I keep forgetting to speak with my fucking voice. I think
If you
the magic
if you leave
lady,
it to me, I can poison it and then get out undetected.
and then the rest of us can buy you enough time to poison everything. And
Probably.
oh god, which one? Terig Shadowleaf. That's your Dragonborn name, right?
That's me. I'm Tyrion.
That's you. Right. Which one's the dragon?
Sylvie.
Sylphine. Right. That's right. Trying to get the names right.
You're good.
So, Sylphina, are you going to stay behind and help Terig, or are you going to come with us and help fight and distract?
I'll go wherever the fight is.
Okay.
Unless someone should stay behind and
Now,
protect. Okay.
let me give you.
Almost I'll be
Let's
fine.
go.
I'll be absolutely fine.
All right. So, who's staying in town? And who's
I
going
think
to
it's just me.
Declan? Okay. Everyone else is going to Declan.
Yeah.
So you're staying here. You begin poisoning the food and the supplies. The rest of you take off to the south to go help Declan.
If they can find me.
Declan. You come through a thicket of trees and through a ravine and up through the other side. And 100 yards away are at least 40 men.
Can't fight 40 minutes.
It's heaven.
I'll wait. I'll wait to speak. You continue.
They don't see you yet.
All right.
It's
So, go ahead. I don't know. I don't want to interrupt.
it's dark. It's daytime, but it's cloudy. It's raining. A little foggy. The men themselves, the way they walk even is filled with hate. Like it's with purpose, and the purpose is evil. They are all clad in the same armor. It's all full plate. And their armor has a sigil on it in gold clad onto the plate. And it is a snake wrapped around a forearm and biting down on a hand.
Fancy Death Eater tattoo.
In the front, though, there is one person not wearing armor. This person is wearing black robes. And as you are witnessing all of this, that person in the front holds up a fist. The entire formation stops. That person in robes is looking across the expanse directly at you.
Still waiting to respond. I don't want to.
You have the floor.
Declan Boyle is going to summon everything he has. I have scoured this character sheet. I've even looked at the Adventurer's Pack. I've looked at everything at my disposal. I'm a ranger by trade. You mentioned there's trees. I'm in the forest. I'm in my element. Man's laid eyes on me, but the rest of his pack don't seem to be aware. I am also, according to my features, an incredible athlete. And I have javelins at my disposal. I draw a javelin. I know I only have a few seconds to do what I plan to do. I hold that javelin as closely as I can. Whew. I say to myself, Quintus, grandfather, the smallest deed, greater than the greatest intention. Today we act. I'm going to launch this javelin like no javelin has ever been launched. I intend to send it at the one unarmored guy out of the forest beyond the ravine into him in order to put everyone on this formation on complete awares and shock, and I'm going to run back into the forest into my element in order to distract them whilst I hope and pray my team is performing the mission they had tasked today.
Roll to hit.
Alright.
With advantage.
There's my boy.
Okay. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be a TPK first go.
I love that
Okay.
happen.
Oh my god, I'm looking through everything I've got. I want to make this the most epic throw.
We do.
What
It's
ability
a-
check does
It's a long
javelin
throw,
use?
but the reason that I'm giving you advantage is because of the way that you described it.
Roleplay always works, y'all.
Role-playing well has its perks.
What ability check does throwing a javelin use? Is it athletics?
It's an attack, really.
Yeah, it's just an attack.
You can use an attack or athletics, but they're both the same modifier to hit.
Ooh, come on, baby.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm being stupid.
I clinch. I form the pose as many launchers have done before me. I've trained for this.
Oh god.
Declan's going to the Olympics 2021.
Double that
You-
one. Double
You
that
have
one.
hyped
Double
yourself
that one.
up. Something fierce here, man. This is better hit.
This throw means more than anything right now. For the lives of my brothers.
Hit the button, damn it! Hit the button!
Shh, let him speak. God.
That one.
For the lives of everyone in my guild and back in the town, this throw means everything. And I launch back, I hunch, flex muscles, take the 2-3 steps I know as per my training, and send that spear.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Ooh. Pretty good.
See if you crit. Okay.
Nice.
Watch it. Send it careening through the night sky, tearing through droplets of rain into the darkness, straight at my target, praying I strike true before I run back to the forest.
As you send the javelin flying through the air, in the open space between the forest and the men in front of you, a single lightning bolt comes down and strikes the javelin. On its path to the robed man. I need you to roll for damage and add 2d8 lightning to that damage roll.
What the fuck?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Engineers with knowledge and power. That's the base damage. You said 2d8?
Yeah.
21 damage.
21, nice.
That's a strong javelin, 11 damage.
The javelin goes all the way through him. He doesn't even stop. It just pierces him through the chest, leaving a cauterized hole from the lightning that struck it. And drives itself into the ground behind him as he falls back, and it re-enters at his throat. Blood comes pouring out. He had 20 hit points.
Oh. Oh shit, son.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
distract him. Kills him.
Fucking nailed it.
Hollywood camera goes from like his chest wound back into the forest towards Declan. It's like,
And as you see this, the men are in complete disarray. I need you, actually, before I say that, I need you to make an intimidation roll with advantage.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, you got this.
oh,
Oh, thank God it's an advantage.
Okay.
The men are surprised and unprepared.
You just killed their leader.
As 4 archers step through the front of the ranks and ready bows as you take off into the woods. As the other members of our party are hurriedly trying to make it to you, to come to your aid. As Tyrig is poisoning the food supplies, preparing for the decimation of this rogue mercenary guild to be brought to heel. We're gonna stop for the night.
That's
I have a fireball in the red! Fuck! I'm ready
I'm
now!
getting ready to cut down fucking legs.
javelin tosses
Jesus
the
Christ.
king.
Y'all
Um,
are bloodthirsty.
We're just gonna
So-
end up poisoning the food and killing all the soldiers, and then the civilians are just gonna starve.
This is what legends are made of.
We will resume the next part, the second part of this adventure, next Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us and talking. Thank you guys so much for being fantastic players.
Big
Chat.
thanks to the amazing DM here.
Yes.
Good
I know,
job.
right?
Fantastic.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Have a good night.